Check 1 2. I'm just
Hey.
a sweet transvestite. Bah, bah. Transsexual. Bah, bah, bah. Transylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thoughts from the fucking Movies.
Now don't get hot and bothered. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was waiting for more.
No, I'm just gonna throw little ones in.
Okay. All right, we're going to do a bit.
Yeah, sure.
Just maybe next time be like, hey, I'm going to do a bit.
Hey,
Yeah, okay, all right, we're doing a bit.
it's officially a bit.
Well planned.
Ta-da!
Well planned show.
We could make you a man at Union Fitness. That's where we're broadcasting today from the Union Fitness Studios located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh.
Not over at the Frankenstein place.
No. Frank-N-Furter.
Well, the song is over
Song
at
is
the
the
Frankenstein
Oh,
place.
yeah, okay. Wow, that was really you can hit me. Like, I hated how that came across.
It's okay.
I was like, I think you mean Frank-N-Furter, and then,
Yeah.
like, actually, idiot. Like,
Yeah.
I was talking about the song. You're
I'm
a
not
fucking moron.
I'm not the one tonight.
No.
I'm not the one.
No. We're live today from the Union Fitness Studios located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Union Fitness is a place where you can transform yourself inside from Frank-N-Furter to outside looking like Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Based around a variety of classes, fitness, yoga, strength, and sexual intercourse. At Union Fitness, they believe it is their duty to hold themselves and their clients to a higher standard. They practice what they preach and uphold the values that make Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today and sign up for a consultation. The people at Union Fitness will not try to have sex with you.
They might use this massage room here is definitely a low-grade porno studio.
I was gonna
we
say.
all know it is.
Unless it's Wednesday night, then no promises are
We
made.
all know
Oh
what
my
they do in that
God.
room there. We know what they do.
All right.
I cannot think of a show in recent memory that everyone was so excited to do.
As this one?
Yes, like
Yeah.
the energy in the room is
Buzzing.
pushing it.
Yeah.
Buzzing.
For sure.
And what was the show this week, Zach?
This evening, we would like to take you on a strange journey to Denton, Ohio. Also, transsexual Transylvania, as we discuss the cult classic, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I would like to start off, gentlemen, with a story, if I may.
Oh, God.
Fucking-lutely.
I grew up. The house I grew up in was my grandparents, myself, my mother, and my aunt. And my aunt was into like a lot of like sci-fi and quote unquote, I guess, like subcultural like shit. And one of those things was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So before I ever saw the movie, I had like the soundtrack. And one thing that me and my grandfather would do a lot was go on like long drives, and we would listen and jam out to the Rocky Horror soundtrack.
Before you had ever seen the movie.
Before I'd ever seen the movie, because my mother, it was kind of one of those like no son of mine moments, you know.
Whoops.
So no, I was a pretty flamboyant child. So, but I was only ever allowed to watch the movie up until the end of the time warp.
Oh.
Before he comes out of the elevator.
Before they get naked.
Oh, yeah, before
Yeah.
all the good parts.
Yeah. So up until like 8th grade, the movie had always ended with Tim Curry in the elevator in the cape. So I'm in 8th grade, and I went to a like booster football like fucking dance at the Elks Lodge. And
Okay.
I come home, and my mom's at a friend's house. My aunt's outside on the phone smoking a cigarette. The grandparents are in bed. I walk in the house.
This is my chance.
I walk in the house, and Rocky Horror's on VH1.
Oh.
And we get to the scene where he comes down the elevator, and I'm like, I'm a fucking man. I'm a fucking man. I'm gonna find out. Honestly, I kind of get what my mom was saying. Because that year for Halloween, I wanted to be Riff Raff from the end of the movie in his spacesuit.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And a subsequent "No Son of Mine" moment came, but
Since the energy is so high, they want us to do a dance-off to the time warp. Let's do time warp. Okay.
I mean, it's simple. It's just a jump to the left.
And a step to the right.
You put your hands on your
Something
hips.
about some thrusting. I can't remember
Yeah.
the rest of
You
it.
bend
Hang
your knees
on.
in tight, and then it's the pelvic thrust that
Zach, keep telling the story, and I'll let you know when I'm ready
Drives
to do
you
that.
insane. Eane.
Yeah.
Let's do the time warp again. Can we talk about the detective is Blofeld from James Bond?
He's what now?
Who?
He's a Bond villain.
Oh.
The detective?
Yeah.
Who's the detective?
He's the guy, the narrator, is actually a detective explaining to you
Oh.
what happened to
Yeah.
them.
Like
The
yeah,
criminologist.
the
Yes.
criminologist.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yes, yes.
Like
He's
the-
Blofeld in
whatever.
not all of them, I don't think, because
No.
Donald Pleasance is in one.
Yeah.
but in
it's,
one of
it's
them.
one of the later ones.
Gotcha. Okay. I
Um,
guess I could see that.
so
Yeah. Are we doing this, boys?
yeah, so we're gonna go back over behind Justin here and
Uh,
do the time warp.
Getting
I don't
weird
know how to
already.
do it. Do you have the steps printed out?
You'll be able to hear the song.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We're the nut huggers today.
Yeah.
Getting loose in my chubbies.
So what is it? It's
Just a jump to the left
jump to the left,
and then a step to the right.
step to the right. How many steps? Bunch of steps?
Step to the right. You put your hands on your hips.
Right.
Why can't we
You
hear
bend
this?
your knees in tight,
Uh-huh.
and then it's the pelvic
Oh,
thrust
yeah.
that drives you
Bam, bam.
insane.
Oh, and then you go in a circle?
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Josh, I feel like we're doing this without you here.
time working.
Okay. And then you just start over?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, let's do it. We're ready.
I'm trying to get it to work, to be honest.
Okay. Jump to the left.
This chair is
Step
good
to the
'cause
right.
my balls can't
Bam,
fall
bam,
out.
bam, 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 bam.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. Let me pull this up so I can see where we are.
Can they hear it?
Nope, we're good. No, they
Okay.
can't hear it.
Okay.
That's illegal on Twitch for them to hear it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
All right, when do we start?
That's
Do you want to
fine.
do that? Oh, nice. You only get that kind of thoughts from the movies. When do are we doing it?
Not
I'll
yet.
tell you.
Okay.
Not yet.
They literally spell out what to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
The confusion is mystifying.
Oh, I've done that all the time.
You guys aren't doing this part.
Oh, we still must do this too?
All right.
That's
All
en-
right.
That's enough. There
Nice.
we go.
Nice.
There it is.
That one was
Hopefully we didn't
for
get
the
banned on
bitches.
Twitch.
There we go. If that doesn't get 100,000 views, I don't know what
That
we
was a
have to
really
do.
shitty version of the time warp.
Yeah,
Hey.
I don't think you
Brought
guys
to you
can
by
hear
Thoughts
it,
from
but-
the Movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you mean shitty? That was the best dancing I've done.
it's very loud.
I just think
Yeah,
it's
well.
really funny that
It's
you
very loud.
like. Where were you at my wedding?
Did you do the time warp?
That
on
was
your
the
wedding?
last song we did. Was the time warp.
Maybe I didn't know it, so I didn't do it.
I think you were a little bit busy.
Okay.
I think you were attempting to engage with a female.
Oh, is that right?
Oh.
Yeah.
We're doing a little Tim Curry, Susan Sarandon action.
Yeah, I think
Ooh.
Or a
that
little
was.
Tim Curry, Barry Bostwick action.
Hey.
You know, one of
You
them.
never know.
One of them.
No, I think that's what
Uncoming.
Tom was doing.
Yeah.
He was getting slapped by somebody. So.
Thank you, Feathershell. Thank you. You do it for the people.
Yeah,
thank
that
you,
was
thank
fun.
you. All right.
All right.
Did everybody like the Chipotle chip version of the time
I
warp?
did. It was like castanets almost.
Yes. So, today, here's how we're going to go through it. We're going to just do opening comments, favorite scenes, could this movie be made today? These are all great questions. Then we're going to do better or worse than, and I have a mixed bag. Yes, we have musicals in there. Yes, we have cult classics in there. We do not have, so I just want to get this out there now because unfortunately we've not seen a lot of these. I have a list of like 30 that I was like, maybe these. We did not do Heathers, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, or where's the other one? Sorry. What the fuck? Where was it? What was the one? Oh, Pink Flamingos.
Okay.
But like all of those belong in this category.
Right.
We just have not seen them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
or UHF. But Weird Al, we should do because it's Weird Al.
Well, Weird Al always will win Better Than or Worse Than forever. I
Ever
think.
and ever.
Always.
Our first concert.
Yeah. That's
Weird
true.
Al.
Yeah.
At the
Shout
Chevrolet Amphitheater.
I've
That's
never
what it was called.
Yep.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about this the other day with someone. That one that used to like just the covering. That
Yep.
Used to be on
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bangers.
Nice.
Okay, so we'll do Better or Worse Than. Then Zach has a bunch of fun facts about the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the creation of it, the everything about it, and then we'll do overrated, underrated, the songs. So.
Boy, am I excited. Can we just start talking
Yeah,
about
dude,
this?
go for it.
I feel like I've been holding this in.
Go for it.
Ever
Go.
since I watched the movie. Okay. Now, I have never seen Rocky Horror until for this show. I watched it on Monday night, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it. Had heard about it, obviously, and knew about it in the zeitgeist and everything, but was always staunchly like, I have no interest in that movie. Like, I just don't want to see it.
Wrong.
And then Zach, at the end of last week's show, Zach says we're going to be doing it, and I was like, oh, yeah, cool.
To be fair, I let you guys pick. You picked this. You guys
That's
picked
true.
this. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, whatever. And I can't think of another movie that has had this effect on me, and I'm going to need you guys to tell me if it's had it on you. When I was watching it, in my brain, I was like, I should be hating this. And I wasn't.
Let's fucking
And I
go.
really wasn't. And the
Let's
more the
go.
movie went on, I was just like getting drawn more and more into it. Even though like consciously I'm like, I don't like this, but I love it at the same time. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it has just like festered in my mind the last 2 days, and I just want to watch it
Our
again.
audio levels are
Yes.
slamming because everyone's just
Good.
yelling with how excited.
Good.
I just like today I was like, I just want to watch the movie again. Like I don't remember last time I
Zach
watched
is
the movie.
so fucking
I
happy.
wanted to watch it like immediately after. I don't know what it is. There's something about it that just like
Right?
it's so charismatic in
the
a way. I don't know. I've never had a movie.
It's the
Have
best.
you guys? Has there ever been a movie where like consciously you knew it was terrible, but you just loved it? Because that's
Man.
what this has been doing to me.
Not to this level.
Okay.
Not to this level.
Gosh, I think there's definitely parts of like Grease where I'm like, this is a terrible movie, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm trying to. There was parts of no, because Boondock wasn't like. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it really feels like
Oh,
one of a kind.
Okay, The Replacements
With
is a
Keanu?
terrible movie.
It's-
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's not though.
It's
not.
a pretty bad movie. A Knight's Tale with
Oh,
Oh,
Heath
that's
Ledger.
just a classic.
But that,
Yeah.
these are bad movies.
Oh,
Like these
I
are
agree with that one.
objectively bad movies, and I'm like change our stars, and like he finds his blind dad like
don't even-
randomly,
Don't
and
even
like
get me started on Knight's Tale.
okay, all right,
Okay, I see what you're saying though. But yeah, that's what this one did to me. I mean, I was just as soon as it started, they're in the wedding scene and like the
You're like,
acting.
what
the
is
acting
going
is
on?
terrible. They're starting
Yeah.
to break into like random dance songs that don't make any sense, and it's just like everything
it,
about it just feels
Janet.
cheesy and terrible. And I'm like, well, this is gonna be a long fucking night. But then I don't know. I'm just like, I'm kind of into this. Like I'm getting there. It's weird and bizarre, but in a way that's just like very exciting and interesting, and like it just draws you in. It's very magnetic. I don't know.
It is-
it
it is magnetic. I think is the perfect way to put it. The second the lips come on screen, you're like, where are we going?
Yeah.
Like, what's about to happen to me? And that's really the movie happens to you, and
Yeah.
you can either lean into it or you can resist it. But Tim Curry will pull you in eventually.
I felt like after watching it, and I mean like after a few hours had passed or whatever, like I immediately wanted to see it in the midnight version and just like do all this shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I bet that's the
Yeah.
most fun thing
So
ever.
that's how I saw Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time.
Oh boy.
Mama Oshie and Mama Elsass took Josh Oshie and Josh Elsass to go see Rocky Horror Picture Show. They dressed us up as Eddies,
Oh.
and like we just walked in with like backpacks full of shit.
Did
And-
they give it to you or do you take your own?
No, you have to take your own.
Oh, okay.
But we're like, we didn't understand what was going on. So like, it was funny because like they would throw the like, great Scott, and everybody threw the toilet paper, and then Josh and I were like, oh. But like, man, we were like 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like not knowing and like going there and seeing like full grown men in drag and not really sure what we were getting into at the Penn Theater of all fucking places.
Nice.
And like just no clue what we were about to get into, and then just like walking out of there like that was the best fucking thing we've ever done. Like that was amazing. Like I want to do that every weekend.
Yeah. Nice. That's interesting that you did that the first time. Were you like, was there so much going on in the theater that you didn't know what was happening in the movie?
Yeah,
Like,
because
you're just doing all
they're
the goofy
they're
stuff?
talking the crowd talks the entire time.
Okay.
The only time you can understand what's going on if you don't already know the movie is the songs, because everybody's singing.
Yeah.
All the songs like people were singing?
Every fucking song.
Nice.
Yeah, like Styx is playing and you and I are the only ones in the crowd.
Wait, so what are all the gags that people do?
Okay.
I personally don't know.
Okay, I'll
Because
pull 'em up.
I'm really not that guy that's like too cool for school when I go to shows and shit. But I stand there with like my arms folded at concerts. You
Nice.
know.
Yeah.
So like I can understand why people do that, but like that's not for me. I just want to sit there and fucking watch it. So
Yeah.
one time I saw it at the Row House and was blessed that I was in a room of like-minded people, except for one person that just like yelled all the call-outs,
Yeah.
but like no one else joined in, and they continued it the entire way through.
Were
Good
they
for
like
them.
throwing the toilet
No,
paper or whatever?
they would just
they're
yell
just yelling
things.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I was just like cringy and uncomfortable, and I was like, I'd like it better watching it at my house.
Okay, so when they throw rice during the wedding scene, you
Uh-huh.
throw rice.
Okay.
You get a newspaper and squirt guns for when they get out of the car when it's raining.
Okay.
There's a light on basically. Rubber gloves, you snap your gloves as Frank-N-Furter's like doing the Rocky bit.
Got it.
Noisemakers when they have the
All
noisemakers.
the noisemakers.
Confetti during Charles Atlas song. Toilet paper is the Great Scott when he breaks through the wall. Party hats is at the dinner table. The bell is anytime a bell rings, you ring a bell. And then cards during the song I'm Going Home.
This might be the only movie that you're still allowed to take like a backpack into a theater for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like what? There's no other movie that's like interactive like this, right?
No.
Not since like the Smell-O-Vision or whatever.
Yeah.
You remember like the 4D with like Spy
Yeah.
Kids?
Right.
You would like scratch
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then
that
like
tried to be
there's a
thing.
whole script of things you yell back at the screen. Like
Uh-huh.
every time you see Janet, you yell slut. Every time you see Brad, you yell asshole. Like
Really?
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh dude,
Slut?
it's a
Yeah.
blast.
Okay, hold on. Side tangent real quick.
Susan
Young
Sarandon's
Susan
a fucking
Sarandon?
babe.
Oh my god.
Oh!
Move over Jessica Lange and Tootsie. Susan Sarandon in Rocky Horror is my new celebrity crush of
Yeah.
all time.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Especially like
Have you seen it with the shadow cast? I don't know what that is.
What's a shadow cast?
yeah, I'm gonna need that explained to me.
Yeah, let's all go after COVID is over. Hollywood Theater in Dormont.
I'm
Yeah.
there.
Fuck yeah.
They still do it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Dude, there's like, I guarantee that if you were tied into the Rocky Horror like cult, you could have seen it during COVID.
Yeah. There's like underground like.
Is it only like at Halloween or
No, it's all the
There's
time.
a lot of theaters that do it every Saturday at midnight.
Everybody
Really?
does the time
Every
warp
Saturday.
dance.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I would definitely love to go.
dude,
to
it's wild. And it's really interesting that you never bothered to look it up because you love Perks of Being a Wallflower,
Right.
and it's a big piece of Perks of Being a Wallflower.
at the Hollywood Theater actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that you never bothered to look into it.
Immediately after I watched this movie though, I watched the Perk scenes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, now that
Now I
makes
get it.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to the live performance, Zach?
I can't remember if I told the story on the show or not, but I have an uncle, a great uncle, my grandfather's brother, who was in Korea and Vietnam,
Oh wow.
and he is a rigid motherfucker. Ironically, like he recently got into dressing as a clown and doing puppets at like nursing homes, which is like a wild move for him.
That
but,
sounds
like,
awesome.
Yeah, but just like a hardcore dude. And my great aunt Janet convinced him that
Damn it.
yeah. that some Allegheny College satellite campus was doing a live production of Rocky. And it was like, fucking boxing movie, yeah, we'll go. And we got there, and he was like, we were in the building for like maybe a minute, and he was
He's
like,
like,
I'll be
absolutely
in,
not.
I'll be in the truck.
Because it was the Rocky Horror Picture Show? He
Yeah,
thought it was Rocky
He
with
just saw
Sylvester Stallone.
saw dudes in drag, and he was
Oh.
like, not what my friends died for, you know. And he was
Damn.
like, I'll go back outside. But yeah, so I saw it live once, and fuck, it's just so much fun.
So that's what they're talking about is the shadow cast. Is when they do it live. That's what we're all talking about.
Okay.
And so when you go, Justin, Rocky will come out before, or Frank-N-Furter will come out before the show and ask who's a virgin. And that means it's the first time you're at a live performance. You put your hand up and you get a red lipstick V put on your forehead, and then they pick on you through the show.
Oh, really?
And so one of the people in the chat is saying, I had to crawl through everyone's legs to get my ass slapped the first time I went, and they did that.
Shout out.
Justin's like, yes, I
just
can't
sounds-
wait.
It's not because I'm like, I just want to get my ass slapped, you know.
Yeah.
But it just sounds like such a fun thing to do,
Oh,
like
it's
a
wild.
fun experience.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because it's been around for so long and it's hung around for so long, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like The Room, but
Mhm.
but I mean it's kind of like The Room, right?
It's
like it's
exactly
got that
like The
cult
Room.
following, and like
Yeah.
people still go see it at midnight and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's exactly like The Room, or like I have a couple on my list. Pink Flamingos is one of those,
Okay, yeah.
particularly in the drag queen culture. Pink
Yeah.
Flamingos is like their Bible, and like people like put on plays and stuff. So
Gotcha. So hold on. Let me run through the story real quick just to make sure I understand it.
okay,
So, the couple, newlyweds, all right, it's raining, the car gets a flat
I
tire.
had to take an orgasm in a game my first time. Oh, a fake orgasm.
I do fake an orgasm.
Oh my
I
god.
had to take an orgasm? Oh, that would be a little extreme for me.
That's assault, brother.
All right, that's it. That's Thoughts
Yeah.
from the Movies is canceled. The second we have an Adam Sandler reference in the middle of a Rocky Horror Picture
Hey.
Show movie. We're not getting any better than that.
It's the two best.
That's it, man. We nailed it. Game over. Okay, so
All
go.
right, so they're in the car in the
yeah,
rain, right?
Yes,
and then
yes.
the
They're-
car gets flat tire. They go to the house, and there's this weird like sex party or whatever. It's actually a bunch of aliens,
Yes.
and they are there because Frank-N-Furter has brought this creature to life,
Yes.
Correct.
a la Frankenstein.
Mhm.
Yes.
Rocky is the creature.
Yeah.
And the purpose of
The
making
creation.
Rocky, the purpose of making Rocky is so that Frank-N-Furter can just have sex with him.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. The whole time I was like, is he just supposed to be like a live sex doll? Like,
Yes.
is that the whole point
That's
of this
why
thing?
he's like chained to the bed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right. And then he gets loose or whatever, and then
Oh,
he
good
starts
stuff.
having sex with everybody, and then Frank-N-Furter's having sex with everybody. Hey, they're all having sex with each other.
Yep.
And then at some point, the servants turn on Frank-N-Furter, and they decide they want to go back to their alien planet, and so they kill him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they go back to their planet.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got
So
it.
they had some. They had some
Jesus,
kind
nailed
of.
it.
Almighty.
They had some
What a
kind
pitch
of
meeting
like.
that was.
yeah.
Well, they did a lot of peyote before they explained it.
Well, they had some kind of like mission,
Who had a mission?
like the aliens,
Okay.
and they're like.
Oh, they didn't accomplish
They're
it.
like, Frank-N-Furter, you've gone off the rails. This is not what we were here for anymore. So like, you're done, and we're going back home.
And what's the mission?
They don't really ever say.
Okay. And who are all the people at the mansion?
They're aliens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but why? Like, why are they there to see
For
for
the convention,
Yeah.
what's the convention?
the unveiling of Rocky,
And okay,
and then Dr. Scott shows up to find his nephew because his nephew sent him this message.
Eddie
that
was the nephew.
Eddie is
Right.
Dr. Scott's nephew,
Right.
but Dr. Scott knows Brad from being
High school.
his
teacher.
high school teacher.
Uh huh.
But then he
And
also
that's where
works for the
Janet and Brad
government.
met, was in his high school class.
But that's the weird thing, because like Frank-N-Furter and them are aliens,
Yeah.
but Dr. Scott is familiar with him as like a
Government agent.
scientist.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
they know
yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they know of each other's like scientific.
It's
works.
literally, so if you've looked at the IMDb, their characters, like, names are hilarious because it's like Tim Curry as Dr. Frank-N-Furter, a scientist,
Mm.
is how it's like laid out in like the scripts and stuff.
In the credits and everything.
Right. So it's like Dr. Scott is I don't even see it here, but it's like a rival. Oh yeah, it's Dr. Everett V. Scott, a rival scientist.
Right, and then Brad and Janet were like a hero.
A hero and a heroine, right? Riff Raff is a handyman. Magenta, or Magenter is how I like to say it. Magenta and I is a domestic. Columbia is a groupie. Rocky, a creation. Eddie, an ex-delivery boy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Riff Raff, by the way, did you know it was that guy that was singing the music at the beginning? Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy?
Those are his lips?
No, those are
it's Magenta's lips.
Magenta's lips, but the guy who plays
Oh.
Riff Raff,
Uh-huh.
who's like the creator of the musical
Yeah,
or
Richard
whatever,
O'Brien.
the original creator of the musical, is the one who does the singing. But he does it in like a falsetto voice.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Science
He's
fiction.
also like the high-pitched voice in over at the Frankenstein place.
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We studied Rocky Horror in my science film class.
Nice. We did not.
No,
What?
we didn't have a sci-fi film class. That would have been cool.
Heck yeah.
Day the Earth Stood Still, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and E.T. Sign me up.
I didn't. You know what? Some of the songs definitely, and this played into like why I was like I shouldn't be liking this movie. But there were definitely some songs that I'm like, especially early on, I was like, what are we doing right now? Like
Why are we all dancing?
especially when they're going up to the house, like the Frankenstein's light or whatever that song is
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
That one I didn't understand.
light
Yeah.
on.
That one I didn't understand at all. I'm like, why are they singing in the rain about the light in the house? Like,
Right.
that one I didn't get at all.
And then I also can never remember when it starts. I'm always listening to the lyrics of Double Feature, and I'm like, is this about the movie, or are they just singing some shit?
It's
Right.
just like a love song to like the sci-fi films that like influenced it, I think.
You very well could be right. I have no idea. Don't ever watch the Rocky Horror Picture sequel.
Yeah.
I didn't even need to know that there was a sequel, Steph.
I think it's called Aftershock or Shockwave or
Oh,
something,
man,
but
I didn't
it's
even know.
like
It's like the same people were in it.
most of them or some of them. I don't think Tim Curry's in it, Richard O'Brien's in it, but it's like very different and not very good from what I understand.
How about Tim Curry in this? This was his first movie role.
Yeah.
What?
This was his first movie. He did the play Rocky Horror, and so they put him in the movie. I'm sorry if I stole a piece of your trivia.
No, my trivia goes a little deeper
Okay,
into that.
nice.
So.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Winona Hates You says Shock Treatment is the name of the sequel.
Yes.
Okay, so I have 4 notes that I made. Are you ready?
I
Yeah.
don't
So
know if I am.
I watch the entire movie and I make notes every week. And
Yeah.
normally they look like, this, where it's like this really, diagrams and shit. I made 4 notes.
Okay.
First one, Rocky Horror Remastered is wild. Because I had the remastered version that was like HD on Amazon, and I was like, oh, God.
Nice.
Because normally it's like really grainy and like dark and
That's
kind
from
of.
the mid-'70s.
Right, so
Yeah.
remastered it was wild. The Time Warp is American Treasure. That was the second note. Third note, and for that matter, so is Tim Curry.
I think
Fourth note, 10 out of 10, highly recommend.
Hell yeah.
Those were my 4
did you
notes.
put Tim Curry as an American treasure?
I know he's not even American.
He's not even American. Yeah. Now that I think that Dr. Evil was doing the time warp in Austin Powers whenever he came back to life, and he's like, I'm with it, I'm hip, and then he starts doing like the Macarena.
Yeah.
And I think he transitioned into the time,
Time
warp.
warp?
I think he starts swinging the hips. I think he
I'm
transitions
cool.
into it.
I'm hip.
Yeah. Tucka, 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 tucka.
How many more? If we get a Rush Hour reference in here, I'm shutting the show down officially.
That's hitting for the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Curry blew me away in this movie.
Oh, dude.
Unbelievable. Like, Tim Curry's a weird guy, don't get me wrong, and he's done weird shit for sure, but he's so amazingly charismatic in this one. Like, it just, when he was, I think my favorite song is probably going to end up being the Sexy Transvestite,
Yeah.
whatever that song's
Yeah.
called. And he's just so into it. Like, he's so
Magnetic.
committed. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm digging this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. I was just like, I'm digging this performance right
Yeah.
now.
His facial expressions throughout the movie, I think, are what make it like so magnetic, because it's just like they're so over the top in a way, but they're also like almost subtle. Like it doesn't seem out of. They're over the top, but it's not out of character, and it's just like they're perfect. They're perfect.
My favorite scene is Hot Patootie. Okay.
Which
That's with Meatloaf riding around on the bike
When he-
Okay.
yeah.
when Eddie comes back to life. Because of that, Tim Curry leaning against the wall makes that scene.
Like
Because
rolling
every
his
time they
eyes.
cut to him, he's like rolling his eyes, or like then he gets mad when he looks at Rocky, and like That like the way he plays that scene, like he shouldn't even really be in the scene, but he steals it.
Yeah.
Wait, so who is Eddie, the motorcycle guy? He's like the previous creation?
No.
He's like
Was he like
Columbia's old boy, Frank-N-Furter's old boy toy,
Yes.
but Columbia, like,
So she explains it at the end of the movie.
yeah.
She says, first it was me. Then you threw me away like a cheap toy for Eddie. And then when you got tired of Eddie and we became a thing, so Eddie and Columbia fell in love, you took half of his brain, gave it to Rocky, and killed him.
Yeah.
And then Eddie, he just locked in like the freezer?
Right,
Or whatever?
Right.
Oh, okay.
At which point he writes, I guess before the freezer, writes this letter to his uncle
Right.
saying, like, oh, hurry, or I may be dead.
Right.
And Eddie was just like a regular guy. Random
Yeah,
guy.
he was
So,
a delivery
even though
boy
Rocky is
that
like
just showed up to the house.
Yeah. So, ex-delivery boy, I'm assuming, like, he showed up kind of like Brad and Janet do, and they just don't let him leave.
Okay.
Which ultimately was going to be,
Brad
I
and
think
Janet's
yeah.
fate as well.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
slowly getting it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the more you try to get it, the further away you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like just let it go. Just
Give
let it
yourself
wash
over.
over.
what's the
Yeah.
to
poster
absolute
say?
pleasure.
Give yourself over to absolute pleasure. That's exactly
Absolutely.
right. And that's really that's the best way to watch the movie is just like it's going. Here we go.
That's what Brad and Janet do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, every time Brad Majors shakes somebody's hand, I piss my pants. Brad Majors, nice to meet you.
It's really attacking.
He really does. All right, let's jump back over here. Favorite scenes?
Everyone.
Everyone. Zach,
Every
Zach's
fucking
like
one.
every fucking one.
My absolute favorite scene is the last like 20 minutes, like roast
the
him my
pool?
world, wild and untamed thing.
Mm.
But I think the pinnacle for me is Tim Curry doing I'm Going Home.
Yeah. And
Like,
they all started plotting and everything.
yeah, it's just like so. It's like a fun, quirky movie, but like it's very emotional in that scene.
Yeah.
Like he acts that like so well.
Yeah.
That, like the jig is up, and
I don't think I ever got the end of the movie until I watched it as an adult.
yeah.
Like I remember very actively like after Touch Me, Touch Me, Touch Me is over, I'm like, okay, the movie's over. Like I hated the end. Like I didn't understand the pool. I didn't understand like all the other stuff. It didn't make any sense to me. But now watching it as an adult, I like the end
yeah.
just as much as the beginning.
Yeah, so let's talk about the ending for a sec. So, what happens before they get to the theater? Like, what's before they go into the theater? What's the scene before that?
He
When
freezes them. He
yeah,
Medusas them.
He turns them into.
Oh
like,
yeah, there's all the Medusa shit going on.
Yeah.
And then they're in the movie theater or whatever, and it's like the RKO production thing, and they're all dancing, and then they're in the pool having an orgy, and then they get out of the pool, and then those two servants come back with their alien garb or whatever, and,
Yeah.
the ray gun, and they're like,
a beam of pure antimatter.
Trying to watch Justin put this together. It's
exactly.
amazing.
And so they say that the jig is up,
Yeah.
and
Because this is the tipping point. Like,
Chat,
Frank
what was
and-
your favorite scenes while we're going through?
yes, Frank-N-Furter, like freezing them and then making them put on this production for him. Riff Raff and Magenta are like, this
We're
is just a
out of control.
full-blown abuse of power.
Yeah.
We are so far from the mission.
and
I'm your new commander. You now are my prisoner.
Right.
We return to Transylvania.
Yeah.
and what's the whole thing with like the fake crowd where he was like he thought the crowd was there but they really weren't there,
Just because he's this egomaniac.
Mm-hmm.
and he thought people were he was saying goodbye. Is that what he was doing?
Yeah.
And he thought everyone was there watching him.
Right.
Like all the aliens were
Right.
there,
Yeah.
Right.
but nobody was there.
Right.
Yeah.
Which then makes you wonder if there were ever aliens there to begin with. Like, was that crowd ever there?
Well, I think so.
Mm.
Brad and Janet saw them,
Yeah.
Did they? Or were they just under Frank-N-Furter's power?
but they saw him before they met Frank-N-Furter
True.
at the time warp.
No.
Okay. Got it. I think.
Yeah.
I like the nice like homage to like King Kong at the end.
Yeah.
Like that's just like fun when Rocky takes him and climbs
Yep.
to the top of the tower.
Well, apparently there's a reference to every major studio in the movie at some point.
Yeah.
Like the globe at the end is Universal, and the RKO used to be RKO, and so on and so forth. So I thought that was really cool.
And Magenta or Columbia's wearing the Disney hat.
Yeah.
She's wearing the Mickey ears at one point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steph is just blown away, or Feathershell is just blown away that Zach loves this movie, just entirely unexpected.
This is maybe my favorite movie ever.
You can't. Oh, well, I don't know, because hearing Zach's story, maybe I can. Like, some of my friends will not show this to their kids, and I can't wait to be the weird guy that does. You know what I mean? Like, be like, we're going to go see Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
And they're like 13, and then their life has changed forever. Because I don't think there are certain movies that were made that never got like out of sync. Like the actual movie Rocky is like that. It was made in 71, 70, something crazy like that. And even when you watch it today, even though it is paced like a 70s fucking movie, you are locked in the entire time. There's just something about it that draws you in, even though it is slower and it's like 2 hours and it's like, I don't really understand everything that's going on. There's something about that thing printed on film that makes you want to watch more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Horror Picture Show is exactly like that. There's something about it that just you don't want to look at your phone, you don't want to fucking go do anything else, you're just like locked in.
Well, yeah, but what's the difference between Rocky Horror and like all those cheesy B movies? Like, why is Rocky Horror such a standout? It doesn't have a A-list cast. Like, it's just what about it has stood the test of time and made people love it? Do you think so much, as opposed to all the other like terrible cheesy bullshit that it's based off of?
I think, honest to God, it's the music.
I actually think that you're kind of right, because when I was watching the movie and like thinking to myself I should be hating it, the music was kind of what kept me going. Like, it was rocking and rolling, and like when they go into the mansion and all the aliens are there, I was kind of creeped out. I'm like, this is a little weird. But then when Time Warp starts going, you're like, you're bopping your head and it's catchy.
Again.
I think the music, you might be right.
And every time it gets a little bit too weird, you get that uptick song, right?
Yeah.
So like, you're like, oh, he made a man? Like, this is like, what is going on? And then Eddie shows up and you're like, fucking Meatloaf's here. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, a rock out song. And then like the whole like, some people call it rape, whatever scenes where Frank-N-Furter's basically going around and fucking everybody, and then Rocky's on the loose. You're like, this is getting really weird again. But then Touch Me is a banger.
Oh yeah,
hidden gem on the tracks, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like it just keeps bringing you back. And then the farewell song is like another one where it's not maybe a banger, but like you're like, ooh, that's hitting me in the feels. Like I'm here for this.
right.
I think it's got a lot to do with the music.
Yeah, and the chat agrees with you. I could see that for sure, because I was enjoying the music. Even though I didn't understand like why they were singing, the songs itself were definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, they're all just like really catchy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's like I just think it's like the perfect storm
I really
of like weird and
that's
fun
great.
and catchy.
Yeah.
And
It is the perfect storm.
Yeah, and it's like creative and witty too. Like the "Damn It, Janet" song
Yeah.
is really well written song.
Yeah.
In terms of like the lyrics and the rhyming and everything.
Damn it, Janet.
Yeah, I mean
I
it's
love
actually.
you.
oh, Brad. It's nicer than Betty Monroe had. Oh, Brad.
Yeah, so maybe it is the music. Maybe it's the music. Maybe it's just some of the
It's
performances.
the performances of Tim Curry, Riff Raff, Magenta, and Columbia. Like Susan Sarandon is just hot the whole time, but like she's like way over the top, right? Brad Majors is way over the top. But like the aliens aren't over the top, which is like inverted, right? Like you would imagine aliens being over the top. Like we just watched
Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
The aliens are over the top. Coneheads, the aliens are the ones that are over the top. This flips that script on its head, and the aliens are the normal ones. And
Right.
the people are weird.
Did you guys ever see Cabaret, the musical?
No.
Okay. That was one I was going to think of for better or worse things. It's
Mm.
very similar. But it's also in a similar world of like normal people, but
Right.
not freaks necessarily, but like very colorful
Mhm.
side characters and things like that.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, maybe Tim Curry, maybe the music, maybe.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about like different scenes from the movie, and I'm not sure. Maybe Josh more so than you, but do you realize that Frank-N-Furter and Riff Raff are at the wedding at the beginning.
They were like the first people I saw.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's Tim Curry. He's the priest.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
who Tim Curry is going in. That's
Yeah.
true.
But I didn't think about that at all. It's like the rest of the movie. Like I totally forgot that they were in the beginning there because it just like it doesn't tie together at all.
Right. So, but it kind of flips the script in terms of it being a chance encounter that they break down at the castle and go there. Like Tim Curry and Riff Raff are at the wedding.
Mhm.
Like, did they fuck with the tire while they're at the wedding? You know, like as a ploy to get, you know, is it supposed to be that, you know, the whole thing with Eddie brings Dr. Scott there the same time that Brad and Janet, you know, it just like expands the idea of like, you know, what's really going on in
Yeah.
the movie, which
Well-
is like wild for like a fun, stupid, like quote unquote sing along movie. You
Right.
know?
Well, what I read was that the reason that they had those people in the beginning was sort of like an homage to the Wizard of Oz, right? Like the Scarecrow
they're all
and
in
the
the
Lion are
beginning.
like real people at the beginning, and then she goes into her dream and they're there.
So, Steph and Feathershell are pointing out some really important stuff in the chat. This is an iconic queer movie. It's a great way to spot your people. Feathershells, I was just about to say that. I got into this musical with my theater gaze, and it was one of the first times I was like, yes, this is for me. But here's what's even better about this fucking movie. All of us are straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it.
I'm probably the closest to, through my life, probably the closest to being gay in here.
Okay.
But yeah,
I mean, that's
I agree.
I think it's a great way to find your people, and I think too and that's what they use it in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yeah.
Is they're seeing if Charlie is their people. Like, this is the ultimate test. He's about to see this guy that he thinks is his new friend in drag.
Yeah.
And, like, Charlie just takes it in fucking stride.
Right. And yeah, it's so weird too that like I don't know, so I'm not an LGBTQ or anything, but when
Yeah.
I'm watching Tim Curry go through everything, I'm like I really like respect and appreciate what he's doing. I'm like Tim Curry just like is rocking this part like he's sort of like effeminate but not, and like he's just the way he's dancing and the way he's dressed, all the makeup and everything. I don't know how to describe it. Like
Does
I was
any-
just Yeah, go ahead.
Chat, do we know if Tim Curry was rocking a full tuck? Because I was looking, and I did not see it.
I wasn't
He
looking.
had to have been.
Yeah, I think he was rocking a full tuck.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know how you would.
Do you know what
tell.
what I'm talking about?
I
You can put it
think
together?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
There's a
Why don't you
process to it,
describe it
though.
to us?
There's
Do you
a
know-
process to
Do
it.
you know what a penis is?
Yeah. Why don't you give us the step-by-step?
Yeah, I do.
Buffalo.
I know it.
Hey, Buffalo
Fucking,
Bill, why don't you give us the
Yeah.
step-by-step?
RuPaul's Drag Race is one of my favorite shows.
Shout out.
No, but yeah, like I'm not in that community, but I still love this movie, and I think
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like originally it wasn't that way, and it was like 40 years ago people had to be real closeted about
Yeah.
like like not being open about liking this movie, and now maybe it's more mainstream or whatever. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We
Yeah.
all
It's crazy. I think there's only a few movies I think that truly do blanket an entire peoples, and this is one of them. Gay, straight, black, white, male, female, non-binary. Everybody loves this fucking movie.
yeah. Well, it's like, did you guys ever see Eyes Wide Shut?
That was def a full tuck. Okay.
Confirmed.
I am bi, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show group I meet in high school made me feel so secure in my sexuality. Oh my God! Someone explain a full tuck to him.
just describe it. Why,
Af-
can you
He
after
draw,
was
the
not
show.
in a full tuck.
Can you draw a
I don't
picture?
know. We got to figure it out. So,
but
never mind.
yeah, but no, I think this movie speaks to like, not the freak's not the right word, but like just the inner part of you that is completely wild and untamed and
Yes.
like let loose, unchained. Whether it's like the crazy sex parties
Yeah.
or like just the the costumes or the sexuality part of it, whatever. Like it's just something about this movie is just like people at their sort of like purest
Yeah.
form.
Yeah.
Like
Did
just
you-
their most open and honest version of themselves.
Unencumbered.
Did you intentionally use Wild and Untamed?
No, what does that mean?
Because it's the song at the end at the stage show when Frank-N-Furter comes out. Wild and Untamed Thing.
Okay, nice.
Oh,
Yeah, boom. There you
gotcha.
go. But
He had a type of spank on. Oh, he had tucking panties on? That's lame stuff.
no pasties.
No.
What did you say your favorite scene was? Did you say one?
It's got to do. It's the time warp. Like, it's iconic. It's amazing. That's like, it's the most like memorable thing. Like that's the scene that transcends the movie, right? Is the time warp.
Yeah, I don't know if I understand that. Why is the time warp such a big thing?
It's a banger. And it's a dance that white people can do. It's two things. It's
Well,
a banger
you
and
know.
a dance that white people can do.
Well,
True.
yeah, we'll let the chat be the judge of that based on our performance.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's like I had heard that song before in other movies,
Yeah.
you know, and then seeing it for the first time, I was like, oh, this dance is not that like complicated or anything. Did you guys like the old guys like intercut him doing the dance while the people were doing the
Oh
dance?
yeah.
I did.
It's hilarious. And then he gets on top of the desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay.
Posture check.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think that it's got to be the time warp. And I love so much of this movie, but like the time warp is just iconic.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that.
What was yours? It's okay if you want to say Susan Sarandon in the touch me part.
Any scene where Susan Sarandon is
in her bra.
in a bra definitely is going to be in the top part of it. No, I think my favorite scene is, honest to God, I think it's Tim Curry's introduction and that whole song that he does.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. It's so
So-
catchy, and I also like the intro with the lips in the music.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's just so original and really sets the tone for what you're about to see. Both of those, I think. I mean, the touch me scene is like, I think that scene's my least favorite scene.
It's mine. It's my least favorite.
Because of her banging Rocky, I'm just like, no.
it should have been me.
Yeah.
Should have been me.
I'm like, this is bullshit. This guy was just created like an hour ago.
Yeah, she's fucking a child. Let's
It's,
not.
yeah.
Don't
it's
get it
like,
twisted.
What's going on here? Yeah. He can't even walk, but he wants to bang.
Right.
Isn't that just like a man?
The I can make you a man. So my favorite, when you know they yell stuff back at the screen during the live viewings.
Okay.
And my favorite one is during I'm Just a Sweet Transvestite, because when he pauses for the anticipation, he goes, and a blah blah blah, and then he pauses. The crowd goes, say it, patient. Like he
Nice.
goes antissa, and then he pauses, right, and then he goes, say it, and then he goes patient, and then everybody claps.
Nice.
So.
Okay. Yeah, those were probably my favorites.
Yeah. All right. So I think this will be an interesting topic because I think we have all defended our love for it.
Yes.
But this movie could not be created in 2021.
I think it is.
Here, let me.
Wow. Okay.
Let me ask you guys
awesome.
this in order to sort of answer this question, because I was thinking about this today too. I think it would make for. I would love to see a modern update where it's like.
They did it. It was really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Laverne Cox played Frank-N-Furter.
Yeah.
Oh, that like the fat chick from Borat?
No.
No,
The openly trans actress
the one from
who's like
Orange
in
is
Orange
the
is
New
the New
Black.
Black.
I don't watch the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pull
Well,
it
I
up.
mean,
Okay.
you're not missing much of her.
Well, anyway, I was thinking. No, I think it'd be cool from just like you know, like how they would do the camera work and
Do you know
everything.
this face, Laverne Cox?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I was thinking, I wanted to ask you guys, if you were doing this today, which I think you could do and would be awesome to see, a modern uptake if it was done right, who would you have play Frank-N-Furter?
Michael C. Hall.
Oh.
Dexter.
From Dex, that guy?
He's been in iterations of Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and when David Bowie's last album came out, Black Star, they
Mhm.
did a Broadway production called Lazarus, and he's the star of that. And he's got an incredible singing voice.
Okay, interesting.
So to give you an idea, so Victoria Justice plays Susan Sarandon's character, and like you can kind of see how they like updated the characters.
Right.
And then the only good casting was Adam Levine as Eddie. That was spot on. That was fucking great.
Nice.
He killed
Adam Lambert.
Adam Lambert. Thank you.
I got you.
Yeah, but like all in all, the cast could not sing as well.
When did this come out?
2016.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay.
It was really
And then
bad.
Glee did an
Wait,
episode.
Laverne
And
Cox.
the Glee one is awesome.
It was like it premiered after the Super Bowl. I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
The Glee episode, because Kurt plays Frank-N-Furter, and then gets beat up for it, and then like all the other jocks show up and drag. Oh no, that's the Gaga episode. I have them confused.
It's all good.
Hold on, I have a question.
Yeah.
Was this a movie or was this like a live TV
Live
thing?
TV
was-
thing.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to see an updated film take on it because with the way, like the difference in filming now than the 70s, I think would make it really
Right.
you could make it look really cool, I think. But do you think you would need an unknown person to do it?
No. I need Jack Black as Eddie, though.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's a little old for Eddie though.
Neil Patrick Harris as
Frank-N-Furter,
Frank-N-Furter?
he's too.
I feel like he's too recognizable. Like that's why
Yeah.
you might need an unknown to do it. But I don't know who is someone who's so charismatic and like has that sort of can play both sides of the fence.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Actually,
He'd be good
not a
for-
bad fucking take.
For Riff Raff?
Yeah,
For Riff
Riff
Raff
Raff,
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
great. He'd be a great Riff Raff, actually. That's spot on. And they might as well have Megan Fox be Magenta.
I think you can make this movie today.
Yeah.
I think that the LGBTQ community is at the forefront of a lot of people's minds, and I think a lot of people are trying to be more inclusive and to, make material that supports that, those people and everything. I think you could absolutely make this today.
My only caveat is I feel like there's a lot of pushback if you don't have a trans actor play a trans character.
Oh yeah.
And I want someone that can I want the best person for the job.
Mhm.
I don't give a fuck about that, I need someone that's going to do the justice it fucking deserves.
That's true. That could be a big thing with the Frank-N-Furter character if there's
Yeah.
people want it to be a trans person or I don't even know if because I don't know what the character himself is.
I'm just kind of scrolling through now some of the possible Frank-N-Furters.
Ooh, who's the guy that's in Carol and he plays Stephen Hawking in The Theory of
Stephen
Everything?
Hawking, Eddie Redmayne.
I think he's kind of
Well, he was in the Danish Girl where he
the
played
Danish girl.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So,
Jon Snow,
Kit Harington as
Frank-N-Furter.
Frank-N-Furter.
Yeah,
I don't think that one at all.
I do. Or actually, no. Let me flip that. Is the brother?
Who's
What's
brother?
what's?
Bran Stark?
No. Rob Stark. Who plays Rob Stark?
Richard Madden?
Richard Madden.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Richard Madden?
I don't even know who that is.
He hasn't really done much. He's in a show called The Bodyguard, which is a British show. But he was in Rocket Man as the sleazy manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you pull on because we know he can fucking sing Remy.
Rami?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I mean Freddie Mercury. There's probably a little bit of Freddie and Frank-N-Furter for
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
Or the other way around.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Give me Patrick Stewart as the criminologist. Though.
Yes.
Nice. What was Machine Gun Kelly so good in? He was so good in what?
Yes, great Riff Raff. He was so good in Hedwig on Broadway, though.
I don't know Hedwig.
I would assume they're talking about
I
Neil
think
Patrick
Neil.
Harris.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Um,
But yeah, I think they could make it today. I think it should be made today. I would love to
No.
see that.
It's one of those movies that. Have you ever seen a musical redone that was on par
Little
with
Shop
the-
of Horrors.
with Rick Moranis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's not the original.
But that's the most iconic iteration.
Version.
Yeah. Maybe A Star Is Born, like we were talking about.
That was,
Mhm.
I mean, that's,
That one's been done like 4 or 5 times.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that, I think, just like you just said, that the most iconic version, Harry Styles is a good one.
Mm.
Or actually, Bieber.
Actually, give me Antonio Banderas
That's
as Frank-N-Furter. Until you've seen Antonio Banderas sing The Phantom of the Opera, you will never be the same.
Mhm.
You will never be the fucking same.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Styles is kind of interesting because
Mhm.
he already dresses in like
Right.
non-gender
Binary. Yeah.
clothing, whatever it's called. So interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if you should make it today or not. I would like to see it remade today. But I think if you did it right, it would be cool. But it's also so iconic and classic in its own way that it's
Yeah.
hard to want to touch it.
I just don't like how many of the remakes that we've seen have been good,
Right.
let alone something this. And even like the sex scenes would be hard to do today. Because he is like putting himself on these people.
Yeah.
He's forcing himself on them.
Right.
It's rape.
Yeah, I wonder how
I mean,
much
even
of
Rocky.
like
Huh?
Even Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky being a sex slave and created just to fuck and
yeah, I
being
feel like
chained to
if
the
they
bed.
if they made it today, I feel like they'd want to update it to reflect more of like today's views on that kind of stuff and like have, you know, Rocky not get raped or like, you know, fight back or like that kind of stuff.
But
you
then
know?
that changes the movie.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Ezra Miller's a good one. Lil Nas X.
I like Little Nas
Well,
X.
Ezra Miller was already Frank-N-Furter in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yeah.
So,
But, I mean,
now
it
you
was-
just do the whole movie like that.
But he nailed it.
Yeah.
Like when he comes out as Frank-N-Furter, you're like, yep, nailed it.
Yeah. I could. Yeah, he's probably the best one that we've heard so far.
I think
So.
it could be done, but it shouldn't be done.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah.
Let the classics be classics.
All right. This is going to be difficult. Better or worse than? So if you are new to the channel, we take a movie and we put it up against this one and we decide whether or not it is better or worse than. So I have a selection of a bunch of cult classics, and then I have a bunch of musicals as well. So we'll start with the musicals. Grease, better or worse than Rocky Horror Picture Show?
You know what's funny is like on paper you wouldn't think that these two movies have anything to do with each other at all.
They have a lot to do with
but
each other.
in terms of like the way that they have ingrained themselves in the cultural zeitgeist, I mean, there's actually I think they're more similar than you would think.
Both
even though,
have
like,
Glee
subject-wise.
episodes.
Yeah.
True.
Both have you know, sex is a heavy theme and
Yep.
rape maybe.
Yeah.
Did you slip her a pill?
Oh
or whatever
yeah.
they say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did she put up a fight?
Mm-hmm.
Which is better? That's a tough one because Grease has been in my life for 30 years, and this has been in my life for 30 hours. So that's a tough one. What do you guys think?
I don't want to say.
Oh, get out of here! He's gonna say Grease. I don't like
I
it.
am gonna say Grease.
How dare you? What am I talking about? Why am I defending?
I love Grease.
Okay.
I love Grease.
As much as you love Grease too. With Jennifer, was it Jennifer Grey? I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Jennifer Grey.
Well.
Ferris Bueller's Hot Sister and Dirty Dancing is my fucking, like, cry, laugh, get turned on, the whole 9 yards.
Oh boy.
Dirty Dancing. Nobody puts Baby in the corner or Patrick Swayze.
Wait. So is the chat saying that Grease is worse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that off just like gun to my head, I'm gonna love Rocky Horror in a way that I will not love Grease.
Let's
As much
fucking
as
go.
I respect them both, and there's definitely like a place for Grease.
Yeah.
And it's classic and iconic and everything about it. But I mean, I just want to watch Rocky Horror Picture again. I don't really need to see Grease.
Okay.
Yes, same. Like I can appreciate how iconic Grease is, and maybe You're the One That I Want is more iconic than any song in Rocky Horror. But any day I'll watch Rocky Horror over Grease.
Right. I get that.
What does that say? They're on par for me.
I'll stop everything I'm doing and watch either of them. I agree with that.
Oh, wow.
It's a little shop. Little shop of horrors, call the cops. Little shop of terror. That's the only iconic thing about this movie other than Feed Me Seymour.
Yeah.
So it's worse.
Yeah.
I've never seen this movie. This is I feel like this and Rocky Horror were like this in my mind. Like I always thought
Oh.
they were just like about the exact same, and I'm like I don't want to watch either of those because this is about like the shop of plants that eat you or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like I'm not into that.
But Rick Moranis is in it.
I like him.
So
I'll just watch Honey I Shrunk the Kids though.
Did you see the
Or
FBI is
Strange
looking
Brew.
for Rick Moranis?
What?
Not really, but the FBI posted they're looking for like one of the riders at the Capitol building, and the guy looks exactly like Rick Moranis in the dark helmet outfit.
Oh my God,
It's
that's awesome.
fucking hilarious.
That's awesome.
Well, they better watch out because he's got the Schwartz.
Yeah. He'll give him the raspberry.
He'll give it. Oh, dude, we should do that movie.
Oh, boy.
That's a great
Yeah.
one. All right, so Little Shop of Horror is worse. All right,
Yes.
Sweeney Todd or Little Shop, or I'm sorry, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror, but
It's close.
shout out Alan Rickman for life.
Yes,
R.I.P.
Always
For life.
shout out Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Always. So you're taking Rocky, Justin?
Yeah.
think this one will be a tougher battle for you.
I have a really tough time with this one. They're both musicals, and I love the music in Sweeney Todd. I really do.
I like it better when Andy Dwyer sings it.
Steph hates the show, evidently, so.
I hate this show.
Okay, Steph.
Does she mean Sweeney Todd or does she mean thoughts from the movies?
Yeah,
I think she means all of us.
better
Oh,
mean the
well.
fucking movie, Steph.
I really love Sweeney Todd. I mean, Tim Burton and Johnny Depp at their peak. My favorite actor for a long time,
Right.
Johnny Depp, and I thought this. I love this movie a lot. That's a tough one, man. Not Frank-N-Furter. Rocky Horror is weirder for sure, but that also might make it better. Like I don't know. What do you think?
Mine's Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
When I watched Sweeney Todd, I was like, that was delightful. And then that was it. I didn't think about it again.
Yeah.
I think about the Office episode a lot more than I think about the actual movie.
It's a tie for me at
Okay.
this moment. I have
Fine.
to give it time. Rocky Horror is still a little fresh.
I'd rather unalive myself than listen to Suddenly Seymour. Worse, but only by a little. I'd have to watch Sweeney Todd again.
You don't.
What's Suddenly Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweeney Todd's really great. I mean, there's
a
a lot
good
of
one.
great music. It's
Yeah.
great actors in it. I mean, Tim Burton, of course, doing his own thing.
But I got to go with
Yeah, I get it.
Rocky. Okay. Wet Hot American Summer. So now we're into the cult classic movies.
Yeah, this one I don't get why it's
A
that's-
cult classic?
No,
I don't,
no. I mean,
don't get it
No,
at
I
all.
definitely do. I mean, I love Wet Hot American.
Oh,
Have you
really?
ever watched Wet Hot
Yeah.
American Summer?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh,
like,
see,
it's
I
just
don't get it.
the supreme cast of A-listers, like, before anyone has made it. It's
Right.
amazing. Bradley Cooper, Amy Poehler, like, you could there's like 20 people. I have a ton of fun with, and the show that they did, like last year or whatever,
Yeah.
when they brought everyone back, was pretty decent as well. Did
It's
you watch
really
it?
Good. Yeah.
Did you watch it on Netflix?
I when the show came out, I was like, oh, well, maybe we should watch the movie. Then we can decide if we want to watch the show.
Yeah.
We watched the movie, and we're like, I don't get this.
I mean, I have to say equal again on these because they're so different, but like there are similarities in terms of like the cult classic status. And this, I mean, the cast on this one is definitely better for sure. It's not as bizarre, but it's definitely super fun. And yeah, they're a tie for me, I'd say. Zach, what do you think though? You've seen them both.
I think Wet Hot American Summer is really fun and like super enjoyable, but I would watch Rocky Horror over it like any day.
Steph says worse than Rocky Horror Picture Show. I'd take Rocky
Goddamn
as
right.
well. This one's gonna be tough.
This is a hard one. Because they're really similar in the regard that,
Nobody is playing anything straight, but they're playing everything straight.
like, yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not really like a period piece. Like
Yeah.
they're just LARPing.
Yeah.
Like the cops come in at the end and arrest them all because they killed that lady's fucking husband.
Yeah.
You know.
It's also, you're talking about quotes. Is there a more quotable movie than Mighty Python and the Holy Grail?
No.
I don't think it's that close for me.
Ooh.
I'm not a huge Monty Python Holy Grail guy.
Okay.
I mean, there are like 2 or 3 scenes that I remember, obviously, from the movie. But if I actually had to sit down and watch it, I think it's just so played out, and I'm just not really into the movie.
So
all
you
that
did not
much.
have the Spencer's tin sign, "It's only a flesh wound," up in your dorm room.
What?
She's got
No.
huge
I did not.
tracts of land.
No. I remember
think
the
I'll go for a
coconuts.
walk.
I remember the coconuts and the knight who would
Yeah,
just
it's
gets-
just a
keep
flesh
cutting up.
wound.
And then the one about what's he say when he's up top? He's like, "You smell like a," or
Your father smelled the berries, and your mother was a hamster.
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, that scene. I mean, I can't even quote it right now. So yeah,
They-
it's Rocky Horror for me for sure.
To get the Trojan horse and they fucking forget to get in it.
Oh yeah,
It's, yeah, I don't know.
I
It's-
forget to get
It
in it.
might be Monty Python for me.
Nah. Rocky Horror.
Maybe
for me.
because I was allowed to watch the whole thing, like when I was
True.
a kid, so I just have like longer exposure, so I have more like,
Tethered
memories
to it,
with
yeah.
it. Yeah.
This one's a tie for me.
Nice.
This is difficult for me to pick. Also, I did not put it on here, but Spinal Tap.
Mm.
Like those two are like, you can't beat that.
I know what we're doing next week.
Spinal Tap.
No.
Oh,
but
damn it.
I
got really
came to me.
excited. All right.
I wasn't a fan of little. I'm reading the chat. What does it say? I wasn't a fan of.
I was not a big fan of Wet Hot American Summer. I'd rather watch Rocky So Worse, but just barely. About Holy Grail, I can't choose.
Yeah.
It says, how would we pronounce that? Wanakuli? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. We just watched this movie 2 weeks ago. If you'd like to hear our discussion on that, go back into our thoughts from the movies podcasts or YouTube. It's all out there. Mars Attacks.
Rocky Horror by landslide.
Agreed.
And I love Mars Attacks.
I know. Mars Attacks, I don't know when I'll watch that again. I know I'll watch Rocky Horror Picture Show before 365 days have passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be good if I never watched Mars Attacks again, I think.
You were like, that was one. One was enough.
I know I didn't hate it that much. I saw it twice in my life, and I feel like I got everything out of it. Rocky Horror I'm going to watch
Again.
many more times.
Okay. I've not seen the next one.
You know what? I haven't seen The Room either.
Really?
I saw The Disaster Artist and some of The Room via that movie. But,
Yeah. So I
no.
think I saw Disaster Artist. Or no, I watched The Room in preparation of watching The Disaster Artist.
Okay.
And I mean, it's a cult classic for like how bad it is, obviously. But like it's just like
It's just a bad movie.
It's a fucking terrible movie.
It's the all the way to the B side. Like, so Rocky Horror Picture Show is meant to be like a B movie. This is like The Room is all the way to the B. There's no A in it at all.
Like Rocky Horror is so B that it comes back around to being great.
Right.
Where this is just like insanely B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a better diagram.
It's a circle.
It's a circle.
I do want to watch The Room at some point,
Same.
but I'd probably have to be like
You don't
really high. Or
You really
something.
don't have
Yeah.
to. Like it's just
Well,
bad.
it's just when its reputation is the worst movie of all time, and like the success that it's had for being so terrible, I feel like
Yeah.
I owe it that much to at least watch the movie.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing I know about it.
I love The Disaster Artist.
I think
like,
that's
mean,
funny, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we're saying worse in the chat.
No one likes it, even as close as they
Yeah.
are.
Justin,
seemingly.
this one's going to be tough. Tremors or
Oh,
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
one of our childhood movies. I haven't seen Tremor in probably 20 years.
I got at the beginning of quarantine, I got blitzed and watched Tremors, laughed the whole way. It's just like, here comes Bert.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Honest to God, I probably haven't seen
Goddamn
it since like
graboids.
the last time we watched it at your house.
Yeah.
In, 6th grade or whatever. I did love it. I feel like Tremors is the Woody and Rocky Horror's the Buzz of my life.
Let's fucking go.
Well, you would have been really happy with your favorite cult movie being Tremors, but then Rocky Horror Picture shows up, and then you go on this entire adventure into sexuality,
like
whether or
this-
not you want to be trans. And
It's this shiny new toy I can't get enough of.
Literally
Rocky Horror.
a brand new charismatic spaceman.
yes,
came into
quite
your life.
literally a
Exactly.
brand new charismatic spaceman.
That's exactly right.
That is exactly right, with a dimple chin. Nope, that's it.
Yeah.
Justin?
So did you guys vote on this one? I want to say Rocky Horror, but it's probably I'd have to watch Tremors again. I don't want to do it that much disrespect.
I'm going Rocky.
I
like Tremors, though.
I gotta
Tremors?
do Tremors, and I think it's a dad versus mom, or it's a dad movie versus a mom movie for me.
Yeah.
Dad movies Tremors, mom movies is Rocky Horror Picture Show, but like, I mean, I don't know, like Josh Oshie just became Bert in real life, like that's so like one of our
Yeah.
best friends growing up just became Bert, and
Oh,
like it's
really?
awesome, yeah, like but like, you know how like you're like Bert's racist, yeah, he's not racist, our friend.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Oh, big Tremor shout out in the chat.
Tremor wins for me. I'm glad somebody else is backing me up on that because I was worried. I haven't seen The Room. I'm so ashamed about not seeing some of these films, and I have a bachelor's in film visual culture. Here's the deal. Part of the reason why Thoughts from the Movies created, and I think this is the first time we've seen you in the chat, so we'll just give you a background. Justin and I went to film school together, and I am the worst film student in the history of film.
Oh, come on.
And over the years, as we kind of like got older, I kind of missed watching movies and talking about them. And so I had Justin like send me movies to watch, and we would text back and forth. And the first one we did was Locke. which is the Tom Hardy movie
Oh.
where he's driving in the car by
Seen it,
himself.
right?
Yes.
Oh, so
Amazing
good.
movie.
Yeah.
But that kind of spawned thoughts from the movies, and that's how this all came to be. So we want bad film students here.
Yeah. Well, and
Welcome.
it's here's what it is too, and it's like I have dedicated my life to film,
Yeah.
and I watch it all the time. But there's so many movies that I haven't seen. You know, there's
Yeah.
only so many hours in a day.
Like Point Break.
I'm not. Fuck Point Break.
Piece
I'll
of shit.
YouTube that scene where he jumps out of the plane because that sounds cool. But there's only so many hours in a day. You know, you can only get so much.
Steph says worse. All right, and then the final one.
This is the hard one.
This
for
is
me.
the hard one.
This
Tim
is the
Curry for
hard
Tim
one.
Curry.
Yeah.
Clue.
I love Clue so much.
Same.
Oh God.
Do you know what Clue has that Rocky Horror Picture Show would have been better for having?
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Dog Brown in the house.
They both have Susan Sarandon too.
No, she's not in Clue.
No,
No,
she's not
Miss
Miss
Scarlet,
Scarlet?
looks like her, but it's not.
Oh,
her.
okay.
Isn't
alright.
it the lady from Meet the Parents? No.
Miss Scarlet?
Yeah.
I don't know if she ever really went on to do anything. I think I looked it up one time because I'm like, man, she is smoking.
Yeah.
But I didn't recognize the name at all. Clue versus Rocky Horror. God, I can't. It has to be Clue until Rocky Horror sits a little bit longer. Because they're even now, but Clue I've loved longer. And I like Tim Curry.
Leslie Ann Warren.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She was not in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, none of that stuff. I have to give the edge to Clue just because it's been around longer. I think Rocky Horror for me could be on the way to Clue status.
Oh, it definitely will
Yeah,
be.
yeah, just give it some time. But Clue is so funny, and I love it so. Like, the characters are fantastic, and I love Clue so much.
Poor Zach is having an existential crisis over there.
It's a tough
I really am.
It's a tough one.
I'm gonna say tie. I'm gonna say it's a tie.
That's fair.
That's fine. I'm gonna go Clue by a hair. By a hair.
I understand that.
When the guy shows up, when was it Mr. Green or Dr.
Yeah,
Green shows
Mr.
up at
Green.
the end, and he's like, "And I'm a homosexual," and takes his glasses off. It's just so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Communism was just a red herring.
Yeah, like there's so many lines from that movie. Like,
It's
The
like Rocky
Maid,
Horror has the music, Clue has the comedy.
Yeah.
You know, like the characters are all great. And
Right.
everything. The chat's pretty divided too. It seems between them.
prefer Rocky Horror, you motherfuckers.
And I
I
mean,
can't choose two of my favorite movies.
the first time you watched Clue, you're like, oh, this is a fun movie based on like a board game that I'm familiar with. And then you get to the end and it's like, or it could have ended like this. And you're
Yeah.
like,
Right?
what? And you
What?
get like 3 of those and you're like, I wasn't fucking prepared. Like, this is sick.
Did you know that? Did you know?
Every time you say I wasn't prepared, my brain snaps to the Jafar comment. He
Hallelujah,
was not
Jafar.
prepared. No. He was not prepared for the supernatural shit that was coming down the pike.
J. Edgar Hoover is Aladdin.
What?
J. Edgar Hoover is Aladdin. They were not prepared for J. Edgar Hoover to
Yeah,
show up.
yeah, exactly. J. Edgar Hoover is Aladdin. That's absolutely correct. That is the
I
comparison.
bet that sentence has never been said before
No.
in the history of mankind.
First
Completely-
time.
Completely derailed what I was thinking. I can't even remember.
Oh
what I
my
was-
God.
I was about to say something, and now I can't remember it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was about Clue, but now I can't remember. Oh yeah, did you know when it first came out in theaters, every single theater got a different ending?
That's awesome.
They didn't do all three
That's
of them.
awesome.
They put-
that kicks
They put
ass.
different endings in different
that
theaters.
Kicks ass.
Yeah.
That's so fucking
Right?
cool.
That
And then
kicks
it was only on the
ass.
DVD that they did all three of them. Yeah.
I
That
wanna-
kicks
fun.
so much ass.
I want to give a special shout out. If you grew up like a punk subcultural kid in Pittsburgh, you know about Slackers on the South Side. Been going out of business for like the last 10 fucking years.
Nice.
I got a original like
Oh,
theatrical release Clue poster for $5 at Slackers.
And it's up in your office.
It is.
What is Slackers?
It's just like this store that sold like. Now it's just kind of like a flea market on East Carson Street. They just sell like odds and ends, like weird shit. But back in the day, like you would go there to get like your band tees, and in the back they sold like sex toys and shit. It was just
Nice.
like a subcultural, like pop culture
A
store.
little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
You
If
can
they're
buy
still
a
open,
dildo and the poster for Clue.
yeah.
That's exactly what I need.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
Perfect.
He's
I'll
a
check it
changed
out.
man.
You can actually get an entire authentic Frank-N-Furter costume.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Halloween this year.
Secondhand.
All right, Zach. You have a list of fun facts for us.
Okay,
about
guys.
the show Rocky Horror Picture.
I'm excited. I just want to take in this movie
Show.
as much as I can.
Some of these are going to be kind of like in order of the film. Some of them are going to be out of order in the events of the film, but we'll get through it together. Earlier, one of you mentioned, I think, Justin, you mentioned, like, the time warp. Like, why is it so iconic? Why does it stand out?
Definitely.
So, Tim Curry, obviously one of the original, I want to say Broadway, but in the theater in the UK. So if I say Broadway, just know that's what I mean. But Richard O'Brien, who plays Riff Raff, is the creator of the Broadway production. Tim Curry, the original Frank-N-Furter from the stage. But Richard O'Brien's original script for the stage musical, The Rocky Horror Show, was only 40 minutes long. The hit song, The Time Warp, was written to fill space.
In the movie.
It's not a part of the original show. Yeah.
They're just like, quick, we need to kill 10 minutes. What do we do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Right.
I wonder if it was just like improv on that day, or if it was in the scene like that, or in the script like that. I mean,
I
like,
don't know.
I guess it would have to be in the script.
It's really, it makes me interested to see what the original, because now if you see it on stage, like,
It's part of it.
it's part of it. But I wonder what the original transition from them showing up to the castle
That kind of makes sense. They show up at the castle. They're wet. They strip them down. He comes down the elevator. That makes more sense than they go into this ballroom. There's a dance number. and They
Right.
go out of the
Yeah.
ballroom.
Well, they would have had to cut other stuff too, though, because if the play was only 40 minutes originally, and the movie is an hour and 40 minutes, that means they added an hour's worth of material besides the time warp, which
Right.
is maybe 10 minutes or whatever. So I'd be curious what all else they added.
Yeah, likewise.
The East End is what you're thinking of, Zach. It's in the East End.
Oh, thank you,
West End,
Steph.
East End, West
I'm
End,
an
what it is.
uncultured swine. So
Hey,
I
that's all right.
appreciate
I
it.
don't know the difference between Garfield, Bloomfield, and the East Liberty. So
The woman that played Magenta, her name is something Quinn. I apologize.
Wait, is Magenta in the movie? She's the long-haired maid. Or
Yes.
she's
yeah,
the short
she's
red-haired
Riff Raff's sister / lover,
Yeah. And
played by.
Patricia Quinn?
That is correct.
Yeah. And then Little Nell, that's her name, is the woman that plays Columbia, the
Yes.
short-haired redhead.
Nell
Okay,
Campbell.
and what is her job in the movie or whatever?
She's a groupie.
She's a groupie.
Of
Frank-N-Furter.
Oh, so she just hangs around.
She
gets
was
fucked.
like his original like love interest
Right.
until
Magenta's like a maid,
yes,
alien maid.
yeah,
Okay.
and Riff Raff's sister.
Right. Okay.
and lover.
What's like this thing? Is that like an alien
No clue.
handshake? Is that what that is?
Probably.
or-
The
Okay.
original dap up.
Yeah,
for aliens.
That's what that emoji is, right? With the
Yeah.
hands coming together.
Yeah,
It's,
they're doing the Riff
Yeah.
Raff.
okay.
Yeah, give me some skin. The high five was just not enough, so it had to
Yeah.
get that forearm skin.
Yeah.
Right. Forearm shiver.
So although Magenta did not sing the intro science fiction double feature, her lips are used, which we went over. Originally, she did sing the intro song, and they went with the Richard O'Brien version, and she almost didn't do the film over this.
Oh wow.
Yeah. When they first arrive to the castle, before they do the time warp, Riff Raff opens up that clock that's a coffin with a skeleton inside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The clock in the time warp that was a real skeleton, and it's sold at auction for 35,000 pounds.
Is that a lot of money?
45,000 US dollars,
Oh,
or
wow.
54,000 US dollars at the
Yeah.
time.
That's a lot of
50
money.
grand for a
Yeah.
skeleton.
Rocky, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
Who was the skeleton? I think it was like the person. Do you know who it was? I think it was like the person who had bought the clock originally, but it wasn't someone who was involved in Rocky Horror.
I don't know.
Okay.
Rocky, played by Peter Hinwood, was an underwear model with no acting experience. All of his speaking lines were cut, and his singing voice was dubbed by singer Trevor White.
Like his lines, he said them so bad that they had to be cut.
Yeah, so that's why he just like kind of grunts, and then when they do Sword of Damocles, it's dubbed over by Trevor White. And then I didn't realize this until I watched it last night. At the end, the very last song before the outro science fiction double feature, where the criminologist does his in crawling on the planet's face, some humans called or ants called the human race. That song is on like the album, like soundtrack. And it's called Superheroes, and it's Susan Sarandon and Trevor White. But it's maybe my favorite song from the movie, and I didn't realize that their actual verses are like cut from it until I watched it last night. But Josh here has some info on the clock, I believe.
So it looks like it was like an Italian author. Okay, so once a property of the Countess of Roslin, it is said that the skeleton is that of her Italian
Secretary lover.
secretary lover. Okay. She never recovered from his death and traveled everywhere with his remains in the coffin. It was acquired by Ken Paul for the musical hall, whatever that word is, in Hankey, London.
Okay.
That's wild.
Real person and her secretary.
Jesus.
You know, going back real quick to what you said about Rocky, and I didn't realize this until
Elbow sex is what the gesture's called?
For the
Oh,
for
okay.
the arms up.
like this is them having sex with each other?
Elbow sex.
Okay. Rocky in the movie apparently does not have a belly button because he was made by Frank-N-Furter, not birthed, so there wouldn't have been an umbilical cord. So the makeup people just like filled it over or like plugged it up or something.
That's
smart.
crazy.
Which I didn't realize when I was watching it. I'd have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, same.
Just to see if
That's clever.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, it's very smart. It's also clever that like he fills the tank and it's a rainbow,
Yeah.
so that he's gay.
Yeah, did he fill with liquid or was it like gas? Because when
We have
they're in the
no
tank
clue.
later, okay,
Yeah, I think it's just like
It's
a
just bad.
continuity thing.
Yeah,
maybe.
creating movie shit.
sure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
Speaking of bad creating movie shit, when Dr. Scott arrives to the castle and gets like dragged through the castle,
Yeah.
he enters the lab by crashing through a wall.
Right.
This is because set builders forgot to build a door on the laboratory set. So the only way they could have him come, I guess besides the elevator, was to burst through a wall to get into the lab.
Giant magnet.
Yeah,
Let's just suck him up in through the wall.
yeah.
This shows every movie that I said was better than Rocky Horror Picture Show. Flip it back.
Yeah. Hey. Whoa.
These are like iconic moments in the movie that are just like, oh, we need 10 minutes to fill. The time warp.
Yeah.
What if he just breaks through the wall? Okay. Great Scott. Throw the toilet paper. Like, what
Well,
the
it
fuck?
wasn't really like, what if he breaks through the wall? It's like, we didn't build a door. He's got to
We gotta
break
get
through
him-
the
he's gotta
fucking
get him in
wall.
here.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Great Scott is a phrase that I always knew from Back to the Future.
Right.
Doc Brown.
Right.
Did this movie originate that,
Or
or
I
was
think
like
Great Scott is
where
like
is Great Scott
Shakespeare.
Is it really? Okay.
I always thought it was like Sherlock Holmes or some shit.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
See, you Google Great Scott and
Doc Brown
Back to
comes
the
out.
Future comes up. Yeah. So I'm just curious where that originated.
Origins, mental floss. Here we go. General Winfield Scott, the original Great Scott, probably.
Oh, that's just a great guy named Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
Hearing the phrase "Great Scott" might invoke do. Keep going. I'll find this.
Okay, here's where we start to get into some things that are kind of interconnected with other things we've discussed. Steve Martin auditioned to play Brad, but was passed over by Barry Bostwick. Why? Because he had just received a Tony nomination in 1972 for his role as Danny Zuko in Grease.
Steve Martin did?
No, Barry Bostwick
Oh.
received a Tony nod in 72 for playing Danny Zuko in Grease. So they went with him over Steve Martin.
Man,
Steve Martin does not. He kills that movie.
Yeah.
I cannot see Steve
No,
Martin.
he kills
He's
that
too
movie.
comical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too funny.
In terms of other potentially almost horribly damning casting choices, Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger asked to play Frank-N-Furter in the film. The creative team turned him down in favor of the musical's original star, Tim Curry.
I'm sorry. What was the name? I was listening to something else.
Mick Jagger.
Oh.
I could see Mick Jagger doing like a music video of Rocky Horror, like for one of the Rolling Stones songs.
And he's got the moves.
Yeah.
But like again, like he's too This is weird. He's too flamboyant.
If we're going for like a of the time musician to play Frank-N-Furter, it'd have to be Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
like Alice Cooper already has that kind of like leather daddy aesthetic to him. Like
Yeah.
in Wayne's World, he's got the leather jacket and the riding crop. Like he's ready. He's
What about-
halfway there.
Was Bowie? Was that too soon for Bowie?
Well, we'll get to Bowie.
So, he was a congressman, and Great
Great Scott.
Scott is was his campaign slogan.
Oh, okay.
It's that boring.
Well,
Wow.
nice.
Fuck
Kind of
that,
sucks.
dude.
Yeah.
Glad we went down that rabbit hole.
Right.
O'Brien initially wanted the first 20 minutes of the movie to be black and white, like The Wizard of Oz. Then switched color when Frank-N-Furter was introduced. The idea was scrapped by 20th Century Fox.
That one's
Something
really
we touched on
interesting.
earlier.
Wait, when were they gonna change it to color?
When Frank-N-Furter comes down the elevator.
You could see it changing the color during the time warp. Like during during Columbia's like solo.
Yeah.
That's really interesting about like the whole change the color with Frank-N-Furter and introing him.
Yeah.
He's got like the real red lips and everything, just like
Yeah.
the poster and everything.
I understand that though too, because like the beginning of the movie, like if we're talking about color palettes and we're getting really nerdy into film, are you listening, Juan and Cooley? The color palette in the first scene does not reappear in the rest of the movie, which
No.
is technically bad filmmaking. Like there should be a callback to that color palette at some point, whether it was like when they were doing the production in the pool or something. That color palette should have been recalled, and it wasn't. Like even the green door when he draws the heart chalk on it, there's no green door in the rest of the movie. Like it's just a one-off scene. So if it was in black and white, that would make more sense as
Right.
far as the color theory of the movie.
Well, you would also have to revert back to black and white at some point, and the question then becomes, when would that happen? Like when the thing gets sucked up and they're just left on the ground?
I think it happens after his final solo. So like
Yeah, maybe I'm Going Home isn't the start of the black and white.
is switches it back to black and white. So the whole chase scene where Rocky like picks him up and climbs up the thing is in black and white.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate that idea of the transition from black and white to color with Frank-N-Furter, but I'd probably have more questions about going back at the ending. But I would kind of like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the scene where they're at the dinner table and Eddie
What's
is
the party hat on?
Yeah, Eddie is in the table.
Yeah.
So only Tim Curry and Richard O'Brien knew that Eddie's remains were in the table during
my
the dinner
God.
scene. So when the body is revealed, the looks of horror in the actors' faces
Are
are
real.
genuine.
That's awesome.
You know what? You know what is also like bizarre about this movie? Everything, obviously, but like the way the story unfolds, which makes like zero sense at all. It's like they get to the party and then they're staying the night, and then they both end up fucking Frank-N-Furter, and then they're all having dinner together, and then it's like there's the dead body under the table. Like it's just going from one thing to the next that doesn't really
Tie
make
together.
any sense. Like there's no flow to the story
Once,
at all.
Once
but it's,
Rocky's introduced,
yeah.
it's off the rails from there.
Yeah, you're just like going from one crazy thing to the
Yeah.
next. I don't even remember what part the dinner scene happened. Is that before they go to bed or after they go to bed?
After they go to bed because the professor's there.
Oh, and because Brad's all pissed
Yeah.
that he found out she had slept with Frank-N-Furter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like totally doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. So in the London stage production, Eddie and Dr. Scott were played by the same actor. When Meatloaf was brought on board to play Eddie, he was disappointed when he found out he would not be playing Dr. Scott. In an interview, he said, I was a really good Dr. Scott.
I bet you were, Meatloaf.
Yeah.
I bet you were.
When Rocky Horror first opened, Meatloaf and director Jim Sherman bought tickets for a screening in the Midwest. They were the only two individuals in the theater.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was a huge bomb when it first came out, hence the cult classic status. But it was like as bomb can be.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
when a
who's
movie
going to
first-
go see this movie?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like,
in 1974.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the home stretch with the final four. The next two are going to be so-so, but still enjoyable, and the last two, I think, will be
mind blowers.
Mind
Okay,
blowers.
Here we go.
According to the Rocky Horror Picture Show fan club president Sal Piero, Louis Francis, a Staten Island kindergarten teacher, was the first to create audience callbacks where fans joke back to the screen during the movie. Princess Diana was a Rocky Horror fan. The princess requested a meeting with Tim Curry, and in an interview, Curry remembers she told him with a wicked smile that Rocky Horror quite completed my education.
Oh, dirty
Princess
Diana.
Di.
Yeah,
What a
dirty gal. R.I.P.
Second to
gal.
last,
What a gal.
the Rocky Horror Picture Show is the record holder for longest theatrical release in history as it continues to play in theaters across the U.S.
The longest continued release in history.
Because it still plays consistently. Maybe COVID, but still, like, I'm sure not one movie surpassed it during COVID. So
I mean, that's a pretty impressive thing.
Yeah.
Given and continuously is the key word because you have like Gone with the Wind or shit like that.
Right.
We'll show every now and then or whatever.
Back
but
to the
this is
Future, Jaws.
the consistency of this for 45 years, just every single year, I guess. Yeah. That's crazy.
So here's a fun one. This is the last one. This is, I think, the most interesting one so far.
Coop, what's up?
Yeah, welcome back. So an individual died in 1977 that was interested in being in the movie. The movie came out in 72 or 74?
75, I believe
75.
my notes say.
So, someone that was interested in playing...
Yeah, 75.
75? Someone that was interested in playing Eddie, but eventually passed on the role. Fucking Elvis.
Oh, wild.
Could you imagine the end of the line Elvis as Eddie?
Wow. I can't. I mean, I can, but I can't.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Like looks wise, he fits the part.
Yeah.
But Elvis being in this movie, oh my god.
It also that dramatically changes Hot Patootie. Because it goes from Hot Patootie, rest my soda, Hot Patootie.
But I
you know what I
feel
mean?
like that's like a jailhouse rock, like Elvis.
But End Stages Elvis didn't have Jailhouse Rock in him.
Yeah.
He was doing disco.
It's Bruce Campbell and Bubba Hotep Elvis.
Right.
Was Meatloaf famous in 1975?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Also, Meatloaf couldn't really ride a motorcycle, so they used a smaller actor for when he's riding around on a motorcycle.
That is a tight set.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
really is. You become aware of how tight that set is when he's riding the motorcycle.
Yeah, in the little circle.
Yeah.
So also filmed in an actual castle that you can go to in England today, and
That's cool.
it's a hotel now, so you can stay there.
And
Love
all the
that.
rooms are still intact or no?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That'd be too cool.
You can't have rooms without doors in a hotel, I guess.
Yeah.
Just bust right through the wall.
Yeah.
Right through the wall.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Wouldn't
If,
it be
like,
cool
that's how you
every
get
night
into
at
the room.
7 p.m. you have to go down to the dining hall and do the time warp? I'd be fucking there. That would be awesome.
Do you guys ever see that episode of No Reservations where they go to Transylvania
No.
and they stay at like Castle Dracula and it's like this shitty costume dinner party and they're
Oh
like
my
Anthony
God.
Bourdain is like, this is the fucking worst.
This
Like,
is bad.
Oh no.
Oh man. All right. That was awesome.
Hella good facts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love the facts. Okay. Our favorite segment to end the show with, overrated, underrated, and we got the songs. We have, I think, about 5 songs.
We usually do
2, 3, 4,
the
5, 6
actors
songs.
and the cast members. We usually do the cast of the movie.
Yeah.
But since in this one only Tim Curry and Susan Sarandon really went on to have decent careers that are worth, talking about, everyone
Right.
else couldn't really do anything else. So
Right.
we'll do the songs edition.
So, first one, the one that starts the movie, double feature.
Oh,
underrated.
I want to say underrated, but I don't know like how this song is viewed in the thing. Like, didn't other music videos like parody the lips and everything after this?
Oh, this
right?
is like, yeah.
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 Rocky did it first, and then everybody else. Anytime you've seen it after that, it was copied.
Okay.
But we're not talking about just the lips. We're talking about like the content of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of science fiction
Yeah.
throwbacks and stuff. Yeah.
Hella, he did live in California for a while, so there you go. Coop says, great facts, Zach.
Thank you, Coop.
This was one of my favorite songs in the movie, so
Yeah.
I'll say underrated, I guess.
Underrated.
Okay, I don't understand the song. So, fairly rated, because I don't understand what's going on.
That's
Is
fair.
it about the movie? Is it not about the movie? I don't understand.
It's both.
Okay. We
'Cause
know
they're-
I'm not real deep.
Well, they're talking about the plots of like other science fiction movies, like
Yeah.
Marnie was ill the day there stood still, and then it goes into like Frank will build a creature, like see androids fighting Brad and Janet. I guess the android would be Rocky to an extent,
Oh.
So It's like a mixture.
Plus, I like the title. The credits, though. The title credits are going at the
Very
same
cool.
time, like
Yeah.
the bloody and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Underrated for sure.
Wine and Cully says underrated. Okay. Opportunity rest my soul. I really love that rock and roll.
Fucking wildly underrated.
I was not into that one at
What?
all. I'm saying overrated
Dude,
for
this
sure.
is my favorite song in the movie.
I don't get it. I was like, why
It's
is
Meatloaf.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I wasn't into that one. I didn't think it was that catchy.
Man.
The whole guy on the motorcycle driving around, I'm like, this is kind of off the path a little bit. Wasn't for me. Overrated.
You looked dead into my soul when you said that.
Yeah, I was really.
my world went to black and white.
I was kind of
He
speaking
was like,
to you.
underrated.
Yeah. Well, you would talk about the whole show, so I don't have. That's my only point of reference for how
Yeah.
it's viewed. So sorry.
That's fair.
Sorry, bud.
I definitely pump its tires. That is
Yeah.
for. I've pumped the motorcycle tires on Hot Potato.
Although, yeah, underrated again. They agrees
Yep.
with you.
Underrated.
Okay, underrated.
Whatever happened to Saturday night?
I don't
It's just
know.
like, oh,
Saxophone. Damn it, Janet. I love you.
fairly rated.
Damn it, Janet is more fun when you see it in theater. Because everybody's like screaming shit through the song.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I'm saying underrated for Damn It, Janet. I like when I was watching the movie for the first time. I'm like, it was too early in the movie. I wasn't into it yet, but now looking back, like I do like that song a little bit. We talked about this earlier in the show. I appreciate the writing of that song,
yeah.
and more than I actually like its place in the movie. Like it's not the first song that I think of that I think of. Excuse me, but I'll say a little underrated.
Overrated for me.
Yeah, fairly rated. I appreciate that, like, lyrically it, like, sets up.
The whole thing.
Yeah. But, like, in terms of, like, the singability, like, when I'm jamming to the soundtrack, like, I might skip this one.
Right.
I mean, did you like in this one how all those background characters in the church were like Brad or you know like doing the stuff in the background?
Yeah. And that's like the live audience only adds to that part of the song.
Okay.
So that like it amplifies it and changes it into even more of a joke.
Why is everyone saying underrated for all these songs? Aren't some of these like they got to be famous, right? Besides the Time Warp?
I don't know. Everybody's going nuts.
Everyone thinks everything's underrated. I don't know. I thought Rocky Horror had.
I will say I think my favorite song besides Superheroes, which isn't actually in the film, is not on this list. So I will be stepping up at the end.
Okay. Wanakali says slightly overrated. Coop says the whole movie is gold. It should be the #1 in the box office.
Let's fucking go.
All right. Maybe our favorite scene. But
Overrated.
least favorite song?
Can I get a printout of this still?
Yeah.
Hey.
You blow it up.
Oh. This is your Rita Hayworth in Shawshank Redemption.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon. Call me. She's still a babe at 75 or whatever. This song is overrated though.
I could say that.
I didn't
It's
like
fine.
this point of the movie. I'm like, this is weird. Like, the whole movie again is weird. But this was like, I didn't like what was happening. It's like, Rocky is born. He can't even walk. He can't talk. He gets raped by Frank-N-Furter. She has sex with Frank-N-Furter. And then all of a sudden, like, they're both on the run, like, trying to escape.
Yeah.
And then they meet each other, and then they're like, ooh, I'm all turned on. Let's do it right here in the tub. You know, like, I didn't get it.
She's had a taste, and now she wants more.
I was gonna say I think the song is overrated, but I think that part of the song is underrated.
Yeah.
Where she's like, "I've tasted flesh and I want more."
Yeah.
And then Magenta and Columbia are watching, and they're like, "More."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I fuck with that part.
Yeah, overrated, I think.
Okay.
As much as I enjoyed certain elements of this song.
Steph says overrated, underrated. Which one, Steph? Maybe underrated was
There's only two options.
was Janet, and
Yeah.
overrated is Touch Me, Touch Me. All right, Justin.
What, did you vote on this one?
Oh, it's overrated. I said
Oh, okay.
overrated at the beginning.
Everyone said overrated.
Yeah. You're just a sweet transvestite.
Oh, numero uno, baby. This one right here.
I've been making a man
Yeah.
with blonde hair and a tan, and he's good for relieving my tension.
Mhm.
Oh, stay for the night, maybe a bite.
Yeah.
It's
Tim Curry just shines in this. Not only his singing, like his inflections and the way, but I really dig his dancing, man. I do. In the outfit and everything, like, again, that's not, like, I'm not in that community of the LGBTQ, but I'm like, I love Tim Curry in this scene so much. I'm like, he just looks great. He's moving great. Like, he's just killing this, and I love it.
Is Tim Curry one of the most underrated physical actors?
100%.
Because think about this, then think about it. Pennywise, he is like, I think about the railing scene when he's like in the library and he's like, yeah, and then the balloons fall.
Yeah.
But he is so physically imposing in it, and then you think about even Clue, like he's like very proper straight laced, and then like he runs like a wild man, and then he's like straight again, like
Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
I think for sure Tim Curry's probably underrated.
Underrated as an actor in general, but
definitely. Yeah, this song is my favorite of the movie, for sure.
He'll get you a satanic mechanic. Like, come on.
Yep.
Come on.
And
his intro too, like just coming down the elevator with the shoe tapping.
Right.
Oh, it's
and
so
then
fucking
like
steezy.
it does that quick insert to his face, and it's like it's kind of scary almost.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like he looks like a vampire, and Janet faints, but then it's like you just got that beat going, and you're like, wait a second. He's just got the swagger. He's got this rock star, transvestite swagger.
I'm trying to find it. He's the voice of a cartoon character, and you're gonna lose your fucking mind when you see who it is. And I can't fucking remember, and I can't find it now, and I'm annoyed by it.
Jimmy Neutron? No, he's only 7 episodes there. Wild Thornberries?
Is that it? Is he Nigel?
He is Nigel.
There it is. He's Nigel fucking Thornberry.
That's crazy.
Right?
Wow.
He's Nigel Thornberry.
Nigel Thornberry.
It makes sense, though.
Oh, it makes a
definitely
lot
does
of
make
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's in Hey Arnold.
Where'd you
No.
see Hey Arnold?
You go up.
Oh, Rugrats Go Out. Oh, he's just Nigel in that. Proud Family. He's in that.
Wow.
Who's he in Hey Arnold?
Leechler?
I don't
Leech
know.
Litter?
Yeah, a couple episodes, but
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, Tim Curry, man.
Scary Movie 2. The fucking
He's the
professor.
Right.
Oh my god.
There's so many, you don't realize Tim Curry's in shit until you're like scrolling through his IMDb. You're like, oh, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one.
Yeah.
But-
Weird dude, but probably underrated for sure.
Yeah. And then the final song I have, Time Warp.
Overrated.
Wow. Are you just doing that to be mean?
No, it's. I will definitively skip the Time Warp.
What? You're pulling a
But-
Josh right now.
But
Do you not like
I've-
Pete?
I've also had it in my psyche for like 20 fucking years.
You've been listening to the song
And it's the
casually for
hit.
fun
Yeah.
for 20 years.
Yeah, don't we have in this whole show we've been talking about how good this song
It's
is?
the Hey There
Not me.
Delilah.
Oh boy.
Yes.
It's the Green Day song "Time of Your Life." I mean, that's and it's like you've just heard it so many fucking
It's
times.
the Foo Fighters' Best of You.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Overrated, underrated. Definitely not underrated. I'd probably say a little overrated.
Steph would fuck Tim Curry as Frank-N-Furter.
Shout
Steph,
out.
Like you and wow. I can't wait for
I-
you to
uh,
have
wait,
a
wait.
live mic on
Honestly
Twitch.
though, as like, interesting as it was, the scene where he seduces both Janet and Brad, like I love how they did that scene.
Yeah.
though. How like the shadow and it
Yep.
looks like Brad
Yep.
and then the wig comes off and
Yep.
it's like, oh, like I mean, it didn't make any sense that all of a sudden they were both like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Especially Brad.
Right.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, Janet, wait a second, you're Frank-N-Furter. Oh, let's do it anyway. Or
Like
whatever.
you wouldn't notice when she crawled into bed and there was no boobs. Like that
Hello.
wasn't a dead giveaway.
Yeah. But I did love how those scenes played. Like that was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So, Wanakali says fun but overrated.
That's probably fair.
That's fair.
Like
I
again,
wasn't mad when we did the dance. I was not fucking upset that we did that.
yeah, no, but just like as for as much as I know the time warp just from, proximity over the last couple decades and then actually seeing it in the movie, I was a little bit underwhelmed, I suppose.
There's a reason we played it to end my wedding. All right, Zach, what songs did I leave out that you're upset about?
So I think an honorable mention, Eddie's Teddy.
Eddie's Teddy.
The Dr. Scott song from the day he was born.
Oh.
Dun, dun-dun-dun-dun,
Okay,
dun-dun-dun-dun.
yeah. All right.
He was trouble.
Yeah.
Like, what a guy, yeah. Like, I love that.
Okay.
And then the end sequence, like I said, I love,
Right.
I'm going home. But I think it's called, like on the album it's called Fanfare / Rose Tint My World / Wild and Untamed Thing. Pretty much like the ending stage sequence with them like on the stage before he does I'm Going Home. Because I think one of my favorite parts of the movie is when Richard O'Brien and Magenta come out like Frank-N-Furter, it's all over. I think that's like my favorite musical sequence. Like,
so this, what you're hearing right now, Justin, is the Rose Tint My World.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dig that one.
And because it has it also has Don't Dream It, Be It. When Dr. Scott like pulls back his like blanket for the thrill. Like that's
when he pulls back the blanket and he has fucking fishnets on, I die every time. It's I forget about it every time too. I'm always like, oh shit, that's right, he's got fishnets on. Like I forgot.
Yeah. You know what other song I did kind of like? And again, like I didn't really have time to go back and re-listen to all of them. I only listened to a couple of them, but the song where he's talking about like Rocky was just born and he's saying like what he can do in 7 days.
I can
make you a man.
I remember liking that song a little bit.
Piano jam.
Like
Billy Joel song, if you will.
7 days. Yeah, like I dug that.
Yeah. Even it's got like a reprise. I Can Make You a Man reprise.
Yeah.
Like.
We know how you feel about reprises, okay?
They're my favorite.
They really
are. It's a
are.
little extra of something you already love. If you guys are a fan of the music and kind of like alternative music, there's a great compilation called the Rocky Horror Punk Rock Show.
Oh, that's cool.
Me First and the Gimme Gimmes covers science fiction double feature. Swingin' Utters covers Eddie's Teddy. Big D and the Kids Table do a cover of a song called Once in a While that I think is part of the stage performance. It's not in the movie. And the Ataris are on it. It's just like a stacked fucking lineup.
That's awesome.
Great covers.
Nice.
That's really cool.
This movie, I didn't get to say this earlier in the show, but now that we're talking about all the music again, I want to see, do you guys agree? This movie felt like if Kubrick did a musical.
Yeah.
Like, it was bizarre and weird, but also felt like so intentionally so. It was like controlled chaos. Like, everything was meant to be the way it was, and it was definitely out there, but when I was watching it, it felt like very precisely done.
I think it has a lot of, like, qualities of, like, Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Like, Rocky is the big buff guy that's the assistant to the man in the wheelchair.
Right.
We have Dr. Scott in a wheelchair. It's this weird, perverse, sexual...
Yeah, I mean,
So-
that's like Eyes Wide Shut. Like, Kubrick, he did movies that were a little bit odder.
Yeah.
You know, certainly. Not all of them, but
so
some
to
of
give
them.
you reference, Space Odyssey has come out by this point.
Right.
Clockwork Orange has come out by this point. Barry Lyndon is the 1975 movie from Kubrick, and then Shining is 85.
Do we know when the...
Lolita came out, though, very sexual movie.
Yep.
Do we know when the
Doctor
stage
Strangelove as
performance
well.
started?
The what?
The stage show?
I think it was right before this. I think it was like 1974. But like it wasn't. I don't think it was like a long-running classic or anything. You know, it wasn't like no Phantom.
September 1975.
Premiered in the U.S.
Well, so just do Rocky Horror Show because the picture is the movie.
Just a Wikipedia, I think, that would show it.
True.
But yeah, I think it was on the West End for
73.
Yeah, so like
2
a year.
years.
Called
Yeah,
a year. Yeah, so there you go.
I just want to pull up because I when we do these movies and I like write them down, like certain years like tick off in my mind as being like awesome years for film. Like 99, badass year for film. 75, okay, you have Dog Day Afternoon, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jaws,
Dolomite.
Yeah.
But like it was a big year for film as far as Holy Grail came out that year.
Monty Python, yeah.
I'm just kind of going through them now. But like Tommy was one that I almost put in as a better or worse than, but I had not seen Tommy and I kind of figured maybe you guys hadn't either. But But it's just really interesting, I think, like
Mechagodzilla. Come on.
Well, Austin would throw that up on
sure,
the top 10.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, really interesting. It's almost like there's something in the water sometimes, Justin, with film, where like that year just like everything hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like why? Like how does that happen? Is that just dumb luck that like we have these years that stand out as epic movie years, or what?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, and if you look at, certain decades are like the 70s are well known to be arguably the greatest decade of film in history, because you had Coppola and Spielberg and Lucas and Scorsese were all sort of coming up, and they all were allowed to do whatever they wanted to do, and they made these masterpieces, that
blank checks.
Yeah, Godfather and all these things, and then the 80s was a little bit softer of a decade. That was a more of like your a lot of your Back to the Futures and Terminators and things like that. Some more franchises type thing.
But then you also have like the John Hughes movies.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's all cycles, and there's years that are better than others, and there are years that are worse than others, and it's just it's just timing.
Yeah.
You can't plan it that way. I mean, movies get bumped all the time, or you can't really plan it.
So there's not like a Universal hears that they have Jaws coming, or like Universal's had Jaws. Let me rephrase that. Paramount hears that Universal has Jaws that year, and they're like, all right, well, we got to get our hands on something. And like, is there anything like that that goes on?
Because that stuff is so far, it's so late in the process that you hear that a movie, how good a movie is, that it's like by the time it's already shot and you're starting to hear how good it is.
Counterpunch.
Yeah, it would take too many months or years to get a movie developed and into production. Like, it's just the timelines are too far apart in that sense. It's luck is what it is, It's just like things land and they end up being great, and they just happen to be at the same time as other stuff. So yeah, you can't really. Movies take a long time to make, years and years. So you can't really plan it to be otherwise.
It's like pure coincidence that like Armageddon and Deep Impact come out at the same time, like Eruption and Volcano. Shit like that.
And that's happened recently. We had No Strings Attached came out the same year that Friends with Benefits came out.
Yeah.
We had White House Down came out the same year that Olympus Has Fallen came out. Sometimes, I mean, movies obviously hear about that, and like when the release dates are going to be, so if a movie's coming out 6 months after yours. So you might like
slide it up or slide it back.
Some decide to, and some decide not to. Like if you can get the first position, obviously it's a little better, because if you are the second person, then it's like, oh, it's just like this movie. That's like with Rocket Man. I think Bohemian Rhapsody came out and did almost $1 billion, and when Rocket Man came out, I think people had similar expectations, but it did significantly less, like 200 million or something like that, and that was considered a disappointment. But it was so close to Bohemian Rhapsody and so similar. I think people just kind of were like, oh, it's like a watered down version of that, or like it's a similar version of that.
Hot take, I like Rocket Man better than I like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, you talked about that on the show.
Yeah. Have you seen Yesterday?
Yes.
Yesterday's fantastic.
Really good too.
But also at the same time, I think there was another movie starring like an Indian lead about Bruce Springsteen that I don't know anyone saw it.
Yeah, the Bruce Springsteen one. It's funny. It had like a diminishing returns effect. Bohemian Rhapsody came out first, huge mega hit. Rocket Man came out second, significantly less, although still critically pretty well received. And then the Bruce Springsteen movie, which was like you said, it was based on an Indian character in Britain who like discovered Bruce's music, and it was like musical themed and all that. Came out 6 months after Rocket Man and just totally flopped. So it's like, it's diminishing returns. That is very much a thing in the movies, though, for sure. If you have movies that are about similar subjects, like Olympus Has Fallen was a success and spawned a franchise, White House Down was a flop and just died, as the second movie that came out like that.
Yeah.
But you can certainly look at like years in the Academy's history of like, man, that year at the Oscars was fucking amazing, right? And then there are other years that are like, I didn't see any of those movies. So it's, yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to it, boys.
All right.
Which is part of the coolness of it. It's just all random, and the things that happen, and you can't really explain it.
Are you talking about the film industry or Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Both, everything. I don't know. I've gone so far down the Rocky rabbit hole that my brain is so twisted around.
Well, that wraps up Rocky Horror Picture Show. Sorry we weren't in drag. I told this story today. I was in Target at 9 a.m. in the women's lingerie section, and as I'm holding the fishnet stockings in my hand, I go, how did I get here? So, sorry.
That's great.
That was just kind of where I was like,
I love that you made it that far.
I got that far though.
I'm at the checkout line, and
Yeah.
Like I got past the raid your wife's closet section.
yeah.
And then was like, all right, nothing here will do. This is not extravagant. I need more. And then
Oh, boy.
yeah. So what are we watching next week?
I haven't seen this movie, and this was just a spur of the moment because it came to my mind during this show, and we had talked about it briefly in the past. We're gonna watch The Princess Bride.
Let's
Shout out to
fucking
Susan
go.
Elsas.
Oh my God!
I think
You've
it fits
never
well.
seen it?
I think it fits well with what we've been doing lately, and I have never seen it.
Holy
So-
shit!
I never-
want a peanut?
I never really wanted to see it, but now I'm kind of in the mood where it's like Rocky Horror. Let's do it. Princess
Oh,
Bride.
man.
Let's fucking do it. Line it up.
Like we're just like lining up Justin's new favorite movies at this point.
You're gonna be.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna do.
Awesome. Okay. So next week, we get the greatest love story of them all.
Yeah.
Princess Buttercup. As you wish. This has been Thoughts from the Movies. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys were awesome giving
Thank
the
you,
feedback.
chat. Yeah, good
Hopefully
night for the
we
chat.
see you guys next week for Princess Bride.
Yeah. Remember, every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. And if you miss a week or if you want to go back, you're like, what else have these guys talked about? YouTube. Search Thoughts from the Movies on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, Anchor, wherever. We're all over the place. Enjoy it. We really love this show, and it's growing finally, which I'm pumped about. So it's pretty cool. So 2 of my faves in a row. Awesome stuff. We will see you for that next week. Just a sweet transvestite.
Let's do it. Let's do the time warp again.
I'm going home. Literally after this, I'm going home. So.